Not many men can withstand my punch.
Obviously.
For sure.
Got a set of hair on him.
Black belts and chicken heads.
I think you'd be surprised.
I think you'd be surprised.
Abbott Kenny Fight Club.
Kid's got a piece on him. Couple 1-2 cutie pies. I still got it, baby.
Lift your shield.
And now from the Onnit Studios in Playa Vista, California, it is the moment you've been waiting for. The Fighter and the Kid is coming at you live.
No, we're not live.
That doesn't matter. Sounds better when you say live.
But we're not live. We don't do it
Shut
live.
up, man. And now it's the Fighter and the Kid live.
Not live. This is not live. Not live. Oh, look who's back.
I'm back, man.
The Kid is back in action.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen you.
Well, you haven't, and I'll tell you something.
You look exhausted.
I was in Salt Lake City, and the air's a little dry, so my face may look a little bit of a pruned up a little bit.
You look like you need a warm glass of milk and a hot nap.
Well, here's the thing, man.
And by nap, I mean days of just pure
rest and some cucumbers on my eyes. Now listen up.
And a mud mask. Teeth whitener.
Well, here's
TRT.
the thing. Here's the thing. When it's cold like this and it's the fall, I feel like there are new possibilities out there. I feel as though, it's kind of a rebirth, like
the
a
season's
rehashing.
changing.
Yeah.
Well, some would say
skin
spring.
Skin feels tighter. My body feels like it's more energized, got more of a pep, a little bit of a bounce to my step.
In the fall?
And I feel like I want to shed. I feel like I want to shed some of my the expectations.
Like an old snake.
Well,
like
look,
an old
exactly.
dirty snake.
Dude, I can't believe you just used that metaphor. I want to shed my scales a little bit because I'm an old I'm an old dirty snake. And if you saw my piece right now, it looks like it's been through a war, what with all the veins, calluses, and probably a couple bumps I can't explain.
Looks like
but
a cobra
that's not
head.
the point. That's not the point. The thing is, I do want to shed some scales, and I feel like I'm always expected to be like a father with 2 kids and a husband and be all monogamous.
Preach.
And
And be cool and friendly to everyone.
I got to set an example, stand in line, keep my voice down, be mannered. But sometimes...
You're like Spider-Man.
Yeah, sometimes I want to let loose. I want to run. I want to scream. I want to bang a guy. Whatever it might be that happens.
No
Do you know what I'm saying?
limitations.
There are no limitations.
You got to shed that skin.
Sometimes, like you're rolling jits, for example.
Well,
just an
don't say
example,
jits.
Rolling
I
jits.
hate when people call it
But I'm
jits.
just saying, if you're rolling jits...
Ugh.
And maybe you got a guy under you who's a little weaker, maybe not as experienced
Maybe you
as
loosen
you are.
up the belt and
Maybe his chin's not as
shed
strong.
his skin. By shed his skin, I mean...
Well, all I'm saying is I'm imposing my will on him now. Now,
sure.
you know from watching me roll, you know that if I'm controlling a man, I'm wearing him like a sweater. You know how I wear him like a sweater?
we call it backpacking.
What?
You'll jump on the back and you're like a full...
I'm an octopus.
Well...
What were you going to say?
I was going to say you're full, like... college backpack, just full of all those books.
I'm college backpack.
You're a college backpack.
I'm backpacking
You're the old REI backpack.
Oh, I like that. I'm backpacking them.
Yeah.
And
you're the old, what are those backpacks called? What starts with a J? God, our listeners are like, come on, it's called... Were they? Oh God!
Maybe am I a rucksack? What am I? Anyway, I'm.
You guys know what I'm talking about,
tight. I'm tight to his body. Tight to his body.
Like a turtle.
Yeah, I'm wearing him like a sweater. Now, if he's under me and I'm pinning him down, I'm going chest to chest, and probably
Mouth to
hips to
mouth.
hips. Well, hold on for a second, sir.
I'm sorry.
I don't know that
I
guy that
misread
well,
that.
and I'm a straight guy. However,
No
it is a
limitations,
new
though.
season. There are no limitations. Old Snake is shedding his scales. So if I start to impose my will and he's having trouble breathing, he's going, I might mistaken that. That might signal a prey drive inside me. You know what I mean by prey drive? Might signal a prey drive. He's in distress. He's making distress signals. I might confuse distress signals for sex signals.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you
I
never
wouldn't want to
know.
roll with you.
Oh well, no, you
the
don't.
old snake.
No, because the
old
snake.
guy. God, who's gonna roll with the old
shedding
snake?
Scales, and
yeah,
I might
man.
have to-
As soon as you get in trouble, he'll jam his dick in your mouth.
Well, hold on now. Hold on. I'm face to face. I'm chest to chest.
Yeah,
Be
you're
hard
gonna
to do
jump
that.
on top mount. We
Be
call
hard
it
to do
full
that.
mount,
But if he's
snake
wearing,
mount.
If he's wearing a singlet and I pull it to the side.
Okay, you know
Hey,
what, man?
I'm just saying.
Hey, fall got you all crazy.
Sure it
man.
did.
Usually spring does this.
Well, here's what I'm
fall,
saying.
It's kind of contradicting,
Well,
but I hear you.
He's making them distress signals, but I'm confusing them for sex signals.
Okay, well, you're exhausted.
Can't breathe as I'm imposing my will.
Well,
and
now
all of a sudden, hey, I might be an old snake, but this is a snake too. Okay?
Well,
I'm
no one's
just
going to
saying-
roll with you ever.
Bro,
You're going to be banned from every gym in America.
Why?
It's the old snake. Yeah, man, you got to be careful.
Watch out for the old snake.
Try checking your oil.
He'll engage straight, and he comes out of it a little bit different.
He
You
comes out
understand?
different.
Yeah.
It depends on the season.
It depends on
It's
the
like
season.
the blood moon.
Sure. Now, you're a big man. You're a bit of a gorilla.
Mm.
You ever held a man down? You've held a couple guys down who are giving distress signals. I know you've done that when you start to squeeze the life out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Has it ever signaled a prey drive inside you?
God, I can't. It sure hasn't, bro.
Sure, no?
Nope, doesn't matter on the season either.
Never felt a little rush downstairs?
God, never.
Just some Harlequin romance blood that just kind of pumps through
Well,
the
let
old...
me think. Nope, never.
Okay, never had.
No, sorry.
Never had a guy who smelled nice, long hair, real smooth cheeks.
Nope, doesn't ring any
Nobody
bells.
with an apple bottom, anything like that.
God,
Take us
again,
back.
it's just
All
not
right.
coming together
Okay,
for
me neither. Hey, me neither. me neither.
How was Utah, brother?
It was good, man.
Was it?
Utah?
You love Utah.
Utah is a beautiful place. It's Mormon. So what happens in a Mormon town is that it's so clean. People are so polite. They're so nice. Everything about it. Stevie Blue Eyes was like, dude, this place, people are so nice.
Utah's nice.
It's really nice. And what I thought was interesting is that, like, we live in a world where you can't be prejudiced to anybody.
Oh, they can't be prejudiced.
You know
there.
what I'm saying?
It's only white.
I'm saying in Los Angeles, you got to be careful. You know, New York, if you say anything racist
It's
or
a
whatever,
melting
right?
pot.
Sure, but when you go to Utah, you get a lot of Los Angelinos who say things like, "Careful of those Mormons." See, it's kind of still
Really?
acceptable to be prejudiced against
Careful of those
Mormons or
Mormons.
religious people. And I was like, really? I had somebody say it, who shall remain nameless, said, "You going there? Mormons, huh? Careful." And I was
Careful, like what? What are they going to
They
do?
might murder me? Are they a murderous lot? I might get stabbed? It was
There
weird.
could be like some head Mormon guy who's like super gay and he wants you part of his
I don't know. You know what?
I'm part of his squad.
Squad.
He's looking for an old snake.
Well, it's
the grateful type.
It is fall.
It
It is
know.
fall.
Well, see, I don't get that same urge. I do. I like Utah.
I like it too.
So white.
It's pretty white, although
is
there are a
so
lot of
white, and I'm not
Samoans. A
talking
lot
about
of
the
Samoans
snow.
and Tongans there. You know that?
There are, yeah. That's
Yeah.
why BYU, Utah, there's a ton of them there.
Yeah, because I think
Mormons,
they
right?
do. Yeah, because they do an outreach program there, and if you convert to the Church of Latter-day Saints, you can get, I think, automatic U.S. citizenship or something.
I have a family who is Mormon, and I think the mom's not Mormon. The daughters are one of them, but when she got married in the Church of Mormon, if you're not Mormon, you can't. She had to watch from like the outskirts. Like you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
go into the church unless
Oh,
you're
is that
Mormon.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Even during the weddings, like she was on the outside. Like, how'd it go?
Wow.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, listen,
To each his own.
to each his own.
But
buddy.
I'll probably stay out of that.
Now, what did you do besides set up the new studio? You did a lot of the work.
Well-
maybe all of it. Maybe all the work. By the way, I've
been grinding on the studio.
Brendan was doing all the stuff, and I was shooting. And I drove back, and I apologize for missing all these shows, guys. I drove back, and he's there with my buddy Court, who's amazing, and he's a
Was
designer.
he the best guy in the world?
Best guy in the world. He's
Me
the
and
best
him-
guy in
me
the
and
world.
him hit it off.
The best guy in the world. And he's setting up our studio, and I come in, and I start making suggestions.
Ooh, they're bad.
Throwing a monkey wrench into the works, because you got to know Brendan. He's got things buttoned down. And finally, you go, hey, are you the worst? Have you met my partner? The worst?
Will you just come
you
in?
called me the worst.
The worst. Ask Court. I'm like, have you met my partner, the worst? Have you met this guy?
Great nickname.
Because Court's he's a set designer. He does some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
So me and him are going through all of it. We're done. It's over. Brian shows up at the ring and goes, yeah, no, it looks good. What if we did? I'm like, all right, man.
you know
Even
what-
Court's like, God damn
Do you know what's funny?
You just got to throw something in.
When
I
you,
hear you.
when you get frustrated with me, what's funny is that I think it's interesting because you're something weird happens because you're very big, right? Very strong. So in caveman days, you could do what a silverback does in a community. If you look at silverbacks or the bull male in chimpanzee culture, colonies, they will once in a while just go off into a rage.
Yeah, they'll beat their chest,
beat
go
the
out the
shit, but
gorilla.
they'll beat the shit out of whoever's closest to them.
wow.
They'll just be like, "Wah!" and just kick
Just
the
to
shit
show
out of-
dominance?
Maybe kick the shit out of it could be a woman, could be a female, could be a male, could be even an adolescent, a little baby.
That's
so
intense.
they freak out, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And somebody usually
Just to establish order?
they'll just have a tantrum. They'll have a testosterone overload and a tantrum, and somebody gets killed.
If
or
you're
somebody
referring to
gets
me doing, I've never once ever used any form
never,
of physical.
and that's what's funny about you is that you're not like that, and
No,
you would
not
never
in the
be.
least bit.
So what happens is you're this giant guy who can't have the chimpanzee tantrum, so you end up having to be like, and you get exasperated
frustrated.
the way an intellectual would.
Yeah, I get frustrated.
And I don't know if I'd be the same way. I might just be a bit of
You
a
would
bully.
bully me?
I might start shoving you around a little bit.
I think then it's, this is just going through the ups and downs of owning a business together.
Yeah.
With Fox, it's not that it was unexpected. It's just we have to make moves fast. So we have that going. So it doesn't screw us over. It's just you got to make moves fast, which
Yeah.
I like being under pressure. I like getting work done.
Yes.
But you can't stray from the course. You got to stay straight ahead.
That's
You
what
know
you're
what I'm saying?
good at.
Like you got
Not
to
me.
go, man.
I tend to be distracted. I'm like a bird dog. If I see a bird, I'm gonna go, "What's up?" And then I see another bird, and I kick over there.
You can't decide.
I'm a swivel head.
No, if we left the studio up to you, it'd be done in March 2021.
Yeah, I'm a swivel head. It's a problem.
But that's why this works. If you were the guy who were like, we need to do this, we should do this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I think it would be a nightmare.
No. It's a good that I'm not. Yeah, I don't have.
No, that's why this works.
I stay
brother.
out of the way.
That's why I'm so excited for it. So everything's basically done. Our new producer, the furniture and everything gets delivered today. There'll be some, we're going to add stuff on. I might have bought a zebra head that's mounted on the wall.
What?
Yeah. not a
Wait
big
a
deal. It's a
minute.
man cave,
Huh?
son. Couple 1-2 zebras. Got a zebra head,
Yeah.
son. It's a fake one, though. Don't hate me, Peter.
It's a fake
It's
one.
a fake one.
Or
it
is
looks
it?
real.
Or is it?
Or did I go out and kill one with my bare hands
Did
at
we
the
go to
LA
a
Zoo?
zebra farm in Northern California, pay to shoot one, and saw its head off?
Or did I get behind it and just put my old fingers in his little nose, and then shut those yellow ass teeth?
Listen, you a strong guy. Not a shot. You could do that
Not
to
a
a zebra.
single shot.
Not
You ever seen it run away from a lion, just kick it in the face?
Yeah.
No, I love
I
me a
wonder
zebra.
if you were to grab a zebra and put its snout in a headlock and hold on.
He would
I wonder,
buck me off with the quickness.
Yeah,
That
could
ain't
you hold
happening.
on?
That ain't happening. But so the studio should be done tonight with everything as far as transferring all our stuff from Fox. That would be a nightmare no matter what happened. But the holidays makes it a little worse because everyone's on break. So we don't need to start a new channel. We don't do anything like that. iTunes, I don't know when this is going to go up, but iTunes should be up today. And then Stitcher, SoundCloud takes a little longer. That'll be later in the week. We're launching number 2 of the Finding the Kid cartoon animation series today as well. It's a funny story, fight story. Bryan and I, what happened to us.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's a good one.
and then we'll be back in the studio. Wednesday will be our first show in our new studio.
We got Rob Cordry.
I think
Who I
so.
love,
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
very
it'd be
funny,
fun.
from Children's
But
Hospital
Either
and
way,
a
Children's
thousand other
Hospital.
things.
Wow, old school.
no,
Either way, we'll be up and running though.
Yes.
I'm excited for it, man.
Yeah.
Really
Independence,
excited
dude. Independence.
Independence.
Flying solo, as they say.
Flying solo.
Flying solo.
Flying solo.
I've always
It's a good
wondered when
thing.
you get your pilot's license and you learn how to fly and there's always a pilot next to you and then they put you in that plane alone.
That must be a little scary.
Yeah. It's up to you.
You know what that's like? That's like doing Finding the Kid Lives with Bryan Callen, and the next thing you know, you're on the marquee at the Laugh Factory, and you don't have your co-pilot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And by
How
the
funny
way,
is that?
That's very true. You're on the marquee of the Laugh Factory.
What the hell?
Comedy
No
store.
business doing. No, Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory. And yeah, because you have a draw, you have an audience, and now you're, hey, you got thrown in deep water right away. It's a little bit like the UFC. Oh, how many fights you had? Oh, go fight Roy Nelson. Roy Nelson. Go ahead.
Might as well have been Roy Jones.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a common theme in my life. Just got to adapt, and I'm excited, man. But that was the most nervous I've been. I took a picture because last time I was there, I think I saw you there a while ago. But the previous time I was there was probably 10 years ago when my buddy Joe Kloppenstein and myself were out here in Los Angeles, and we went with our girls at the time to the Laugh Factory because Dane Cook was there. And it was heyday Dane. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
10 years ago.
Killing it.
Oh, he's the biggest thing.
Hilarious.
He's Chris Rock at the
Yep.
time. He's as big as they get. So we saw him there. So I'm walking up. I had no idea I was on the marquee. I have no business being up there. Don't get twisted. I realize what's going on here. So I walk up and I take a picture and I sent it to my buddy Clem and went, remember the last time we were here? And he goes, holy shit. I went, craziness. I'll let you know how it
God
goes.
damn it.
How weird is that?
Well, life is
went really well.
Life is weird like that when you just.
What the fuck?
I think though, man, there's this thing where you feel something. It's a crazy idea. You shouldn't do it. It makes no sense. You do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You're terrified. You keep taking the steps. A lot of times, I think that works out.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you're terrified, if you have you'll find a way. If you really want it, it should scare you. Like you always say, if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough.
I think for me, there's obviously a self-belief in my, in what I'm doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't get up there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but self-belief also comes from what? Preparation.
Correct.
And from rehearsal. What'd Conor McGregor say? I was like, how the hell did you become this confident? My work ethic. I was like, but everybody works hard. He goes, they think they work hard.
Yeah.
So I think a certain level of, rehearsal, constant attention, obsession will create a certain amount of confidence. Doesn't mean you're not going to be afraid.
No, and it could be and this happens all the time. It's a self-belief, confidence, which sometimes not true. Where you're a little bit out of your lane.
Everybody has doubts.
Oh yeah, everyone.
And you should.
For me, because like I said, I get what's going on here. I have no business being up there. It's this fast. But I can make some people laugh, and they keep inviting me back to the Comedy Store Laugh Factory. I'm actually at the Comedy Store Tuesday night with Bert Kreischer, Sam Tripoli, and then Sunday night.
Are people laughing when you go up there?
Yes.
Then you have business being up there.
Yeah.
Are you making people laugh for 10 minutes?
I think so.
Then you belong there.
Otherwise, they wouldn't invite me back, right?
Then you have business.
They wouldn't invite me back.
Well, also, the reason that you're a draw is because you've been doing a podcast, and we've been making people laugh for 200 episodes.
Well, but I'm next to you every goddamn day.
Okay.
So
but
that
that's
helps.
like saying
that's my 10,000 hours.
Okay, that's also like me saying, somebody's saying, well, you. I was talking about how I'm making a lot of money on this podcast, and people who are in the business, they don't understand yet. They're like, well, how are you making money? I go, well, sponsors. And they go, dude, how did you, and merchandise, they go, dude, I didn't know you were a businessman. I go, hey, I'm not.
You should just
I don't do anything.
You should just run with
I
that.
do. I have a business, but I got a business partner, does all work.
Yeah, you should run with that, though.
But what I'm saying is that, whatever the case, symbiotic relationship, we figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, surround yourself with people that, make you better. So, yes. But you know what's funny about that is that I do not come to your shows. I stay away now because the umbilical cord has been cut. And by the way, when I saw on Instagram you on the fucking marquee, your fucking flyer, I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, what?
Making
tomorrow at the fucking Comedy Store. The fuck is this? How about, am I on the show? I had to look around. I'm like, I didn't hear anything about this.
Agent.
Oh,
talk to my agent.
Oh, okay, there you go. Step inside, huh? I felt your palm on my face as you moved me aside, and I was like, "The fuck is this?" I
just gotta do my own thing, man.
Flying solo, huh? Got your wings, do you? Got your feathers out?
It's scary.
You jump out of the nest and you flopping around.
Jumping out of the nest, you can't be regurgitating that food anymore.
Mama's got his worms. Mama's got her worms right here. Where's your beak? Your beak ain't open
anymore. I got my
anymore.
own worms.
You're going to get your own worms.
My own worms.
Going to get your own fucking
Grew
worms.
my old wings. What else is going on, brother?
What else is going on? I'm raising kids.
Besides the stress of the student, I've been so stressed, man. I'm even at 32. I think I'm 32, maybe 33.
Yeah.
Fucking face was breaking out. Couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Because you're at the mercy of iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Fox, transitioning and transferring everything over. So
but let me ask you
when you
this.
don't have power, you don't all right, so in fighting or even in comedy, if you want to get up there, you can find spots to get up there. Like, you can take control of your career.
Yes.
TV's a little different. Obviously, you know how it is right now. I'm on pins and needles waiting to get a green light from 2 shows. Mm-hmm. That I can do. That I knew about.
Right.
This, I was like, oh, we'll leave, and then we just have our passwords and codes, and we just upload if we don't skip a beat.
No.
Huh?
No.
Well, no, you have about 300-something odd episodes that we'd have to transfer
It's
over.
a large process.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
And you're at the mercy of
other
other people.
But what do you think causes the stress? Is it your inability to control your destiny, your life? Because the way
this is our baby, especially this is my baby, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is
well,
you mess with this, and
my biggest stress came from the fact that I was, doing these 2 TV shows. I'm shooting a show. I'm acting on TV. I have to miss the podcast. I know
that's going to happen.
I know what my constant is, though, which is my podcast. So it kills me. That's stressful. But you know what?
Shouldn't be though, because I'm always good with that, and it's going to happen if either one of these shows
it's
goes.
True.
You're going to have to do it by yourself.
But also the way I look at it
will
this
be
way,
terrible. But you will do it, sir. You will fucking do it.
I will do it.
You get your dad on. You get to talk about government.
We'll bring him on. We'll talk about intellectual shit.
I'm kidding,
but here's what I the way I looked at it, the way I calmed down was I was like, look, man, we're gonna have hiccups, but the show goes on. We're gonna have the show for a long time.
Oh yeah,
I'm doing a show for a long time. Got bills. I mean, no, but also I love doing it.
No, I love doing it. It's just stressful. And listen, and the fans feel the same way. Like anytime there's a change, it's tough, man. I mean, because you don't think I love going to Fox anymore, knowing everything was there, stuff like that. But there comes a time where you're just like, business-wise and our goals, it's probably time to do our own thing. And of course, we're scared, and everything's different. Right now, we're at a temporary studio, which is tough too, and then you're building a new one. So it's all these things, and again, it's not a knock on you, but a lot of it's on my shoulders to get the studio done and hire our new producer, which we did, and find this other intern and make sure it's the way we want to look and all this other the details
man.
That you don't think of. The details you don't even think of. But
somebody's got to solve those problems.
You do. You just got to keep going. But again, change. You're always like, God, I hope.
But would you
stays
say
the
the
same.
devil, like when people are trying to, like, one of the things I've noticed as I get older is that details are almost all that
everything.
matter.
It's everything.
It is.
The
It's
big
like,
stuff, the big changes, it's like, that's obvious.
Well, they were talking about the difference between the number 100 tennis player in the world and the number 1 tennis player, or or the number 10
Even fighter.
tennis, number 10 tennis, number 1. If you watch them both play hitting a ball, you would not be able to tell the difference. They crush the ball.
Look at the
number
Olympics.
100 guy is killer.
Yeah.
Is a beast,
Oh.
athletic, a monster. It's the tiny details. It's in their training, in their mindset, in the tiny adjustments they're always making that you couldn't see unless you were.
Well, you look at
them.
the Olympics too. I mean, look at the wrestlers or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
the difference in talent is really not. I mean, it's just. I mean, it's so minuscule. It's so.
Well, you've
small.
wrestled with
Even
some of
at
the best in
UFC.
the world, right?
Yeah, and
So what's that difference?
Well, like when I did a round with DC, a few rounds with DC, it's just like I know, or even Pat Cummins, who's an amazing wrestler at Penn State. Like I've wrestled tons of guys, like brilliant guys who are all American, whatever. But when you get to a world class level, they're going to do different setups. It's going to be the smallest difference that they get the takedown, or where usually a guy, you give him a leg and you're like, enjoy that. I'm just going to whiz her in and I'm going to sprawl. Where they eat that stuff a lot.
Because they know that's what you're going to do.
They're faster. They're always one step ahead because they've seen it 1 jillion times.
Yeah.
They just do it different.
Uh-huh.
And everything doesn't have to be perfect. Or maybe when they clasp their hands together, some guys, it take a second to clasp them.
No.
The Olympic level, chunk. Like that opening is so small to get to where they got to get.
And that they say is a function of, like you said, like people, a lot of things say, well, it's technique, yes, but it is. They've been there so many times that they are ahead of you, that they are able to anticipate what you're going to do before you do it. They can chunk
motor
information.
Skills now.
Yeah.
It's literally part of them, like the extension of them. Like that movement is as natural to them as it is for you to walk.
Right.
Like it's just what they do.
Right.
When they see the opening. When most people go, there's a leg, I'm going to go here. All right, my hands are here. They don't think about it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
But
so,
it's just
your
being
boy Joey
consistent.
Janamore, right? Who's our buddy? Who? Joe. You know the guy who made $1 billion, really, who lives in London?
Oh, yeah.
So Joe was training and riding in eventing. If you look at horseback riding, Sports Illustrated had eventing as the most dangerous sport in the world because in 1 year, 6 people died,
They
right?
die because the horse falls on
The
them?
horse falls on you. I was at an event with him that he was riding in, and somebody died right there. They helivaced her out, or she didn't make it. So it's a really dangerous sport where the jumps are fixed. I swear to God, you're jumping over cars. I'm not exaggerating. The horse is jumping over things.
It's a horse, sir.
Yeah. And it's a race and everything else. And so the horse fell on him. He'd had 3 accidents, and the horse fell on him, and he's trying to make the Olympic team. And this is how intense he is. And the horse fell on him, and he went into cardiac arrest, I think. And then they had to, literally crushed his sternum, and he was in the hospital. And 2 Olympians came to him. One is a world champion, and another was a silver medalist. And they both came to his hospital bed, and they said, "You have to quit." And he said, "Why?" And they said, "Because you're going to die." And he said, "Well, what are you talking about?" He said, "You're making mistakes that we were making when we were much younger. You are not, there's no way you can catch up. You're really ballsy, but because you haven't been riding as long as we are, you're making subtle mistakes that are going to get you killed, and there's no way to catch up on it." How about that shit? And that's why he stopped. That's why he goes,
Probably
"I
smart
can't."
though, huh?
You think?
You ride horses?
Why, when a
You're
horse...
a billionaire?
When a
ride horses?
1,200-pound horse falls on you, that's not a good
I got an
day.
idea. Just make a fucking avatar thing where you're like computerly riding horses and you're a badass.
Dude,
let's
he's-
not do it. When you have $1 billion.
He's riding with the world champion Blythe Tate, okay?
Of course.
Who's in New Zealand. He's riding. They're riding. They're just kind of like trotting along. The horse for whatever reason, Bly's leaning forward, the horse for whatever reason goes, "Eh," and rears back, and the top of that horse's head, like a whip, hits the dude in the face.
He died.
It broke the half of his face. Half of his face looked like somebody had thrown a softball at 100 miles an hour.
Like Cyborg when he got kneed in the face?
Yeah, like you were playing
Shattered it.
dodgeball with a bowling ball and a gorilla threw it at your fucking face. Okay? So he goes, "Kadoosh," like that, and looks at my buddy. My buddy goes, "Your face is caved in. Like half your face is caved in." He looks and he goes, "It is," and basically falls over. And he had to have the entire face
But let's
reconstructed.
not do that.
Hey, horses?
Hey, pick up a goddamn basketball. Yeah, a
Keep
horse,
it.
horse doing horse
Keep
things.
that sport.
Now try riding a zebra. Enjoy that ride.
Yeah.
Those things buck you.
The buck you.
I'd love a zebra.
You get bucked.
I'd love a zebra, man.
Would you ride a zebra for, how much money would I have to give?
I love squeezing a horse's nose. I like a nice, crisp, clean zebra because they're pretty.
They bite you and
they're
hold
pretty
on,
much
though. You know that. You know that.
You're talking about horses?
Oh, no, I'm talking about a zebra. Oh, you didn't know that?
Well, the horses will too.
No.
My stepmom's friend,
Yeah.
they're super into horses out there in Colorado, and this is years ago. Bitter titty.
Oh, Jesus.
And they have them dull teeth.
Oh, but dull, flat,
Dull,
grass
yellow,
stained, flat teeth.
big, smell like shit.
Yep.
Bitter
It's front
titty.
teeth. It's a front tooth bite.
Bitter titty. Now, I was a kid when it happened. I want to say she lost the titty.
Oh, Christ.
But they can put implants in, but I'm pretty sure she
Jesus
lost the titty.
Christ.
Bit that thing off like an
no.
old grape on a vine.
Stop it. Well, now, so my wife
Fuck a horse, though.
bent over and she said, "Oh, somebody just shocked me."
No, that's
with an
Mr.
electric-
Hands.
No. Mr. Hands gave her a big old bite on the ass. Her ass looked like a baboon's vagina for a while.
She's lucky she got out alive.
She
because
got her
he's
right
lucky,
cheek-
She's lucky Mr. Hands, the horse, didn't come up behind with that big old
Well, I sent
space
I sent the
piece.
picture to Dove Davidoff. I sent the picture of how black and blue that ass was, and he had to pull over because he was laughing so hard. Meanwhile, didn't feel so good.
I don't fucks with horses, man.
No.
Beautiful creature.
Now, a
not
horse
for
will
me.
reach out, bite you, and let go usually. Zebra, apparently, according to Jared Diamond, zebra will hold on to you, shake. Just like a dog will, hold on to you and not let you go.
I don't fuck with
Okay,
them,
that's an African horse. Big difference between African horses.
What are you talking about? A wild
European horse.
Yeah,
Talking
no.
Talking
There's a
about
reason
wild
why Genghis Khan wasn't riding a zebra, for God's sake.
Even the Mongols didn't.
Genghis Khan was
Even
like,
the
we don't
Mongols
fuck with
didn't.
that.
That's right.
They don't suck on the teat. That's why we're a couple 1-2 zebras.
Mongols lived off the blood of their horse and the milk of their horse.
That's right,
primarily.
man. Through the desert.
Herding cultures.
Boom.
Herding cultures.
How was your Thanksgiving? How was that? Again, I don't know why we do it, man. How was that dry ass bird?
Can I tell you something?
God, is there any? Can we please mix it up?
I got a bird from Whole Foods because our oven was acting up. My wife made a big old organic turkey breast, rubbed it down with some salt and pepper.
I get it.
And did it for a long time, and it was the best turkey I've ever had. Now,
I'm sure.
Now,
Everyone
for the
says
most
that.
part, you can keep turkey.
You can keep fucking turkey.
Yeah. Because I told you I ate wild turkey with Joe Rogan.
And
we
tastes-
dressed it in the field, and it tastes just like
that same turkey you ate on Thanksgiving.
That's right,
They
buddy.
all taste the same.
wild turkey.
I wish we
tastes
could
just
mix
like
it
turkey.
up.
Bland and white.
I wish we could mix it up, man. I'm sick of those dry ass birds. You're going to Bora Bora for?
Yeah. I'm going to Brando Island, brother. Now, that's a very exclusive resort. Now,
That's where your boy's at,
Yeah, guess who's paying for that?
Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy's paying for that. Taking the whole family.
God damn.
Oh, yeah, it's going to cost him into the six figures, I'm sure.
What?
Oh, yeah.
You guys
I don't-
flying
hey,
private?
Hey, I don't care. No,
No,
we're
I'm
flying,
proud
we're
of you.
flying
You got a rich
commercial,
dad.
but
Must be
but
nice.
Big dad. Well, the big man's 76, and his goal is to die broke. Spend it all
That's
on
one
his
way
family.
to do it.
Yeah.
You guys are flying first class to Bora Bora?
No, first class is a little too much.
How do you get there?
We'll fly coach.
You go here to, I don't know where, you go here to Miami?
You got to take 2 planes and then a boat and then a cab, and then El Chapo built a tunnel that you have to crawl
keep that.
on your
You can keep
on
it.
your tummy. By the time you get there,
let me guess.
My joke is by the time you get there, you're older and divorced.
Let me guess. Sand, clear water,
You know what?
sun.
though? You know what? I'll be honest
Dude,
with you.
it's the best
Listen to me.
beach you've ever
Listen to me.
seen.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I'm
I've
not
been to
good on
Cozumel.
vacation. You know me. I'm like you. I'm not good on vacation. I want to work. However, I scuba dive. I scuba dive with sharks. I ride sharks. I ride them.
Well, you're lying.
I ride them.
Unless Daddy's paying those sharks off not to bite you,
Let me
you're
explain something
lying.
to you. I grabbed onto a lemon shark's fin, and I got a video
That doesn't
of it.
count.
It's a
Lemon
lemon
sharks
shark.
don't count.
It's 11-foot lemon shark.
Don't count.
11, 12, 15-foot lemon shark.
That'd be the biggest lemon shark ever.
23-foot lemon
30-foot
shark.
lemon shark?
Yep, and you know I don't
They don't
exaggerate.
count. They don't count.
I swam with a
Unless
sea
it's
turtle.
bull, tiger, great white,
You're right.
or mako.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking hear it. Don't. Hey, I'm telling you now, do not send me a video of you touching a lemon shark. When you come back, I will bite your dick like a dull horse if you send me any videos of lame fish. Unless it can kill me, do not send me a fucking video.
So true.
Oh, that pisses
It's
me
so
off.
true. That's why at the zoo, if it doesn't kill me, I'm probably not going to stop and linger on the
Oh,
exhibit.
as soon as I get to the zoo, like I was in San Diego Zoo, I went through and went, lion, check, tiger, check,
Polar
panda.
bear.
I've seen pandas fuck people up, check. Polar bear, definitely seeing that. That's about it. It's going to be a quick day.
Crocodile.
They didn't have the crocodiles at the time.
Gotta see the
Apparently they had the
crocodile.
fucking day off. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, some get the day off.
What do you mean day off?
I guess they
You fucking
get
showed
days
me that
off.
fucking lizard. I paid my money.
Nah,
I don't.
that lizard, how
What's the
dare you.
croc need his privacy?
I guess
they have
something's
no
going on.
feelings.
I
Crocodiles
know.
have no feelings.
And then you can't yell at pandas. We've talked about this before. She goes, I'm a loud dude. And I was
Yeah.
coming from a lion pissing on people. She goes, shh, panda. Now we're telling everyone, don't raise your voice around the panda. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I look in there. He's just snacking on bamboo.
Yeah, and
nonstop.
a baboon. He's just
And
snacking on a baboon.
Well, then
baboon.
I'd be quiet.
Yeah.
Because that would draw my attention.
But they're herbivores.
Isn't that weird? You have to be fucking quiet around the panda. Go to the zoo. They shut it. There's literally a line out before, a lady with a mic on going, please lower your voice. No yelling.
Wow.
Yeah, no
'Cause it
flashing your
stresses them
camera.
out.
What about the other animals?
Well, the mountain gorilla. I love the mountain gorillas because the mountain gorilla
don't
is
say it
first
like
of all to watch them wrestle with each other. And to
Again,
watch
that's
them
very
hang out.
rare.
Yeah, I saw it. I was watching the babies. Good technique. Granby rolls and everything. Really good technique.
Hey, did you see my post? For Brunson Whitaker? Amazing fight. Amazing fight.
Yeah.
The card was shit. Shout out
Really?
to my
So
boy
the
Kyle
Brunson-
Noak, who
who won
retired.
it? Did Brunson win?
So check it out. So Brunson versus Whitaker, and Brunson was actually favored. Whitaker's from Australia, so it's in his hometown, home country, right? So the crowd's going nuts for him. The pace Brunson set, I was like, does he not realize that it's 25 minutes? What is he? There's no way he survived 25 minutes. He was running straight forward, and it's worked for him to this point. He's on this crazy win streak. He's ranked, I think, 7 or 8 in the world at middleweight. Like, it's been
Wrestling
working for him.
pedigree?
I'm not sure. He's known as a striker, though. Although he did try taking down Whitaker, but he's known for his kind of wild style. So he sprinted at Whitaker. The intensity and pace he set, I'm like, oh my God. He's either A, going to knock this dude out and get him out of there right away, or he's going to go night-night.
He's going to gas.
But get knocked out because he's rushing forward, like
Right.
sprinting forward. It was so fun to watch. But Brunson kept doing it. Whitaker was calm, cool, collected. I've never seen like a championship kind of streak in him to this point. Granted, he won the Australian Tough and all that stuff, but I've never been like,
Talking about Whitaker.
Yeah, I've never really seen him like as a huge threat. That night, you're like, okay, well, this boy has some serious talent because he weathered the storm and then just landed a vicious. Because as Brunson's running in, I think he hit him with a right hand, wobbles Brunson, and throws a head kick. Boom!
Whoa!
Finishes him off. First round.
First round.
And then people go, oh, Brunson, why would you do that? What kind of game plan? But
It's
you,
worked.
you loved him when he was winning.
Yeah.
Where were you when he was winning?
It worked 8 times
Now,
before
now
that.
would it work against the top 3 guys? No, they're going to eat your dick up like Kobayashi. But it's gotten to this point, which is why we like him, which is why he's kind of a name. But Whitaker looked amazing. I think what I would do next for him, and I can't say this anymore if I was Joe Silva because he's leaving. This December's his last month. Shout out to Joe Silva. But whoever's the new guy is, I would do Whitaker versus Musasi.
Really?
That'd be the fight, I think.
And Musasi just won. I think
He just
Musasi's
beat
coming
Uriah.
off. Yeah.
He just beat Uriah Hall. Because remember, there's
And he had to redeem himself. Cause
but he was winning that fight, and then Uriah landed that spinning back kick, and then he just destroyed him this time. But overall, and then Kyle Noak, who's fought 15-year career, trained with a guy, great dude. Funny fact about Kyle Noak, he was security for the crocodile hunter.
He was?
He was his personal security.
Really?
Yeah.
So I watched that fight. I watched that fight when I was in
Kyle
Utah.
Noak fight?
Yeah. He looks good. He looks very
He
muscular.
retired.
Oh, he retired?
Yeah, he retired.
That was the last fight.
Yeah, last fight. His
Wow.
15-year career. He was the Ultimate Fighter coach. One of the nicest guys of all freaking time.
Really?
I don't
Shout
know
out
if he,
to Kyle
I don't
Noak
know if
then.
he still has
Congrats
the
on
same
a good
girl.
career.
Dime-piece wife, I think. Sorry
He's
if
a
it's your
stud.
ex. Yeah,
He's a
he's a
stud.
super stud.
Yeah.
Like I said, most people don't know he was actually security, personal security, and like helped train
For the crocodile hunter.
for the crocodile hunter. Wow. How crazy is that? But great career, man, and good for him. Tip to the hat to that guy for walking away at the right time, I think. He's won some big fights, lost some fights, but that's how it goes, life of a fighter. Good dude. But yeah, Whitaker, Musasi's next for him. I even tweeted.
I always
and then
forget-
people were like, how about the technique of the fight? Whitaker's technique was phenomenal. He weathered the storm. Hands were high. Really didn't eat a lot of shots. Great takedown defense. Calm, cool, collected in his backyard. And Brunson sprinting, stuff like that. You can say from a traditional standpoint the technique isn't great, but if you look at other guys' techniques who are wild, like you can't say Tony Ferguson anymore because his technique in that last fight was ridiculous. But I used to compare him because he's a wild guy. But you got to remember, those guys are at such a high level. For them, they have the fundamentals that you speak of that you hate on. Trust me, they have them.
Yes.
If you think you know fundamentals and you think that guy fighting in his underwear at the highest level in the world doesn't know them, you're so out of line. It's not even funny. But those guys, it's chaos that's under control. They have the fundamentals. So Brunson, he looks like he's wildly out of control and actually got caught for it. He's won a lot of fights doing that too. But people were texting me, how about that technique? I've seen better technique on World Star Hip Hop and some funny stuff. So I retweeted, but as my boy Bryan Callen would say, terrible fundamentals, people.
Oh God, man.
It was a fun fight though. I was sitting in my bed because I watched Lemachenko, where he fought. I think guy's named Taylor. Either way, he's
talking about the boxer.
Lemachenko, who's on HBO.
Yeah, great.
First of all,
gold medalist in the Olympics, I believe.
But he only has 7 pro fights.
Yep.
He fought a guy who's 30-0. Now listen to this, and a lot of people probably haven't seen the fight. He made the guy quit, but not from damage. He outclassed him so bad. I think it was in the 4th or 5th round. He looks at the ref, goes, "Oh, I'm done." Not hurt, nothing, just goes, I can't.
Because he was just so outclassed.
He couldn't do anything.
God.
And Lemachenko was just destroying him, angles, and the ref goes, "What?" And he goes, "I'm done."
No.
And so,
what the
so they interview, obviously they interview Lemachenko, and he's doing his thing. I think what's next for him is probably Manny Pacquiao. He needs a huge name fight, which I think would absolutely destroy anyone. To me, pound for pound, he's the number one by far in the world.
Right.
Now, the argument is, okay, so Demetrius Johnson's number one in the UFC, Lemachenko's number one in boxing, but they're so small, the risk of losing is way less than a guy like Cain Velasquez, like a John Jones, like a Michael Bisping. Because the guys aren't big, so they can make mistakes and not get knocked out and get finished. Where at higher weight classes, the chance of getting finished are way higher, right? So that's why I don't rank their margin of error. I don't rank them 1.
Right.
I don't.
That's fair. That's fair.
Skill-wise, they're number 1.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, they're not number 1. Yeah. But I know it's a little bit contradicting. But Lemachenko, I've never seen it. So this guy fighting world class, he's worked his whole life to get there. He ruined everything he's ever worked for in 27 minutes. Because now, and Max Kellerman, who's literally my favorite analyst in the game. Shout out to Max Kellerman. Him on First Take, he's such a beast, man. He's my favorite guy to listen to, by far. He's interviewing him, and he asks the question, he goes, "Man, were you even hurt? Like, I've never seen a guy just kind of wave the white flag." His corner didn't do it. He did it. That's how outclassed he was. And he goes, he had to think, he goes, "Well, no, I was hurt, but you can see on tape he really wasn't hurt. Granted, that's his word. He was just frustrated. But Max Kellerman goes, "Well, in our sport, and a lot of the people are going to critique you and criticize you, you're a boxer, you're a fighter. Like, you go out on your shield, man. You give everything you got. You didn't give everything. You just quit." And there's part of me as a fighter goes, "Jesus Christ, that's terrible. Like, dude, you're done. No one's going to want to promote you.
Can't quit.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
You can't quit.
As a fighter, when you quit, your corner probably should have done that if that's the way they felt. You look at the Kell Brooks fight, which he didn't want to stop. They stopped it.
Yeah.
But he was getting
he also had a crushed orbital. Yeah.
So his corner probably should have. But when he does it, everything you ever worked for, it's out the window. All the respect's gone. Now, me, as a guy who's aware of CTE and brain trauma, I go, okay, well, he was really outclassed. I can see how he's kind of like, I'm done.
Well, maybe he said, I'm just not ready for this opponent yet. Because I was watching, there's a YouTube thing on Lemachenko which says the tricks. He's got 5 different things. They were breaking it down. And you see how
it's almost a waste of time to watch that.
How he mixes everything up, what an artist he is. It's like a tapestry. Like the way he will confuse the shit out of you in so many different ways. It's beautiful to watch. And when they break that down, you have such an appreciation for the technique of boxing for a layman. When you watch that, you go, you realize how intricate and how huge it is.
Pros could watch that and not pick.
Now, of course,
it's like Dominic Cruz. I remember
Yes.
someone goes, "Is there any way you could learn like Dominic Cruz or T.J. Dillashaw?" I'm like, No.
But
you're an athletic guy. I get that.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yes.
That's their thing.
Yes.
The chance of you picking that is not
it's a form of artistry. Like they're painting a tapestry. The way they get you to commit, the way they get you to make mistakes, the way they get you to think that they're doing something by like holding his right hand up, exposing, baiting you in, all those things,
Different
and he
angles.
changes it all up. So you can't, your brain isn't working that quickly.
But the thing is, what sucks for Lomachenko is, like, that wasn't even fun for me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, at this level, this world class level, it's not even.
So how does he do?
It's not even fun to.
How does he
watch.
go do against Pacquiao? I wonder.
I think he destroys him.
Really?
I don't think Pacquiao touches him. No.
Really?
Mm-mm. But to get into the mainstream, he has to fight a big name. He's so good.
Is he small? Is he smaller than Mayweather?
Yeah,
he is.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But he can go up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him and Pacquiao could fight at catchweight for
Those
sure.
Russians, man, they've got an incredible program. They
It's
stay in those
ridiculous.
amateur ranks.
So-
They'll fight 300 fights.
So exactly. So they're ready to go when they get there.
Yeah.
So I watched that, and then I was like, I record the UFC fights. I fast forward. I watched Kyle's last fight because shout out to Kyle. And then I got to the main event, and I almost woke my baby up, man. I was like screaming. It was such a fun fight.
You talking about Lomachenko? Or you talking about the?
I'm talking about Brunson Whitaker.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, because let's be honest, the card was kind of lackluster. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, all right, whatever. When I first started, it was 2 women fighting I didn't know, so I was like, all right, whatever.
Right.
The funnest part was probably they were Bisping on the UFC tonight. They interviewed him like, what do you think of these guys? And it's true. He's like. I had to Google both their names just to figure out who they were and who they fought last. Let's be honest here.
boy.
He's
Oh,
like,
boy.
they're great, they're good fighters, but I don't
Yeah.
really know who they are.
When it comes
Word
to
is he's fighting Yoel Romero June in Anaheim.
well, that's gonna.
I don't know
be
if that's
interesting.
confirmed or not.
We might
That's what a
wanna
little
go.
birdie told me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if we go. But
I predict that you'll, and all due respect to Michael Bisping, he's awesome. But I've been saying it. But I think
Yoel beats him.
I think Yoel beats him just on sheer athleticism, and he's just he's on a
disagree.
9
I disagree.
fight win streak.
Let's bet.
We'll definitely bet on that.
I
Definitely.
got Bisping.
And that's a good
TKO.
bet.
TKO.
It's a smart bet because Bisping doesn't get tired, puts a crazy pace on, incredibly technical, and Yoel. If Yoel, if we're talking 4 and 5, round 4 and 5 now against Michael Bisping with that pace, you're going to have your hands full.
With Michael Bisping, 3, 4, and 5.
3, 4,
Because
and
the
5.
pace he sets.
Very good bet.
No,
It's a
great
good bet.
I'm taking that all day. I would imagine Bisping's the favorite in Vegas too. I'm
that
just saying.
right? You think so?
As a analyst, or call me whatever you want. In my professional opinion, I think it's the best matchup for Bisping.
Really?
When I first saw it, I was like, God, it's a terrible fight for Bisping. And then I started thinking, like, Bisping's boxing is really good. God, his footwork, his anti-wrestling is amazing. He does not play that game.
Yeah.
The
He
reason
won't-
the reason why Chris got in trouble is because he played that game.
Well, because, and Yoel, they were
The
talking
single
about his
legs and
camp.
stuff like that.
Here's the single leg. Here's the single leg. I keep feeding it to you. And, you're going for it again. Bang, knee.
Bisping
Yeah.
doesn't play that game.
He doesn't.
He's
does he?
very smart against the cage. He's going to circle out. He's look at the great wrestlers he's fought.
Yeah.
And granted, he hasn't fought a guy to Yoel's level,
You're right.
but you look at the middleweight division, and it's by far, to me, it's his best matchup.
Maybe the thing about Yoel, I think, is that because of his explosiveness and his athleticism, those 3 rounds are so precarious that if you make
Those first
one
two's a
mistake,
doozy.
right? When you make
First
tho-
two's a
yeah,
doozy.
and when you make that mistake, now guess what?
Scary.
The guy that we always forget about, and I always forget about 2 guys in the 85-pound division. I forget about Gegard Mousasi. I always forget about him. He's like
He's
the
been around
invisible
so
man.
long.
Yep, he's like the invisible man. Can beat anybody on any given day.
For sure.
Okay. And then there's Mr. Tim Kennedy, who actually beat Yoel. I mean,
Well,
and then,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
there's that
Talking about
controversy.
Stoolgate.
But a guy who is every bit as strong, does not get tired.
Not the same striking, but yeah.
Yeah, no, or even maybe wrestling, but his pace, Tim's pace, his strength and his
great.
pace. Well, he's got to be frustrated.
Well, he has a fight now.
Yeah,
he's fighting
Gastelum.
Kelvin
Yeah.
Gastelum. And that's if the commission does nothing for you, does
what
it?
I mean.
Isn't
Well,
that weird?
Yeah, and I love.
Rashad in New York versus Kelvin. Now Kelvin, they're almost disciplining him, I think, because
Yes,
they go,
they are.
"You didn't make weight.
Here you go. Here's
Check
Tim."
this out.
Yeah,
you like you're a grinder. Oh, you're a grinder.
That's
You're a grinder, sir.
what I said.
And you're not making weight. You're a grinder. Check this out. This is what we're gonna do with you. So here's Tim L. Captainino Kennedy.
exactly what I said.
Here's Tim Kennedy. Because
A giant
Hey,
85er.
because everything you do, he does better.
Oh no.
And it's in Toronto. And this is the other thing. If you lose, we're probably going to cut you. watch, man.
Dude, it's what I said. When I saw that, I went, come on, guys. Kevin Gastelum's a great guy. He's tough as shit.
Misses way too much.
He misses way too much.
You can't have
guys
it. There's
gave him
nothing
Tim.
worse in the
Could
sport.
you have given him somebody other than Tim? I mean,
I am
Tim
find middleweight in
Kennedy?
a little bit.
Oh, no.
Here's Tim Kennedy.
Oh, no.
Oh, and he's chomping at the bit to get in there.
Oh, my God.
And he made weight still just to prove a point
And
in
Kevin
New York.
Gastelum is a sturdy, powerful man. And then when you see him next to El Capitan, El Capitan.
Oh, you talking
You're
about,
talking about
America's finest.
You're talking about the naked chimp. You're talking about the hairless chimp.
Oh, it's
You're
like
talking about
it's like you and I are Baloo and whatever his name is, Joe, but he's the elephant.
Baloo?
When he walks in, you
Yeah.
and I kneel down.
You're damn right.
Every American should.
You're
Just
damn right.
kneel down.
No. Well, there are men. Well, hold on. There are men.
And then there's Tim Kennedy.
There are men. There are boys. There are men. Then they're the special forces. Then there's Tim Kennedy.
I cried for that man.
You
That's
cried
how
for
good
him.
of an American he is.
Yeah, there's Tim
He's a
Kennedy.
goddamn
Because
American.
what Tim will do is Tim will go do tip of the spear shit in the military, and be arguably number 3, number 2 contender in the world at the 85-pound
Some
division
say
in the
number
UFC.
6. And the
Sure.
other thing is, he'll host a show on the History Channel called Hunting Hitler.
Yeah, he'll do that too.
I'll do that
Do
too.
that too. He'll go hunt Hitler for you.
How crazy!
All right?
The TV show.
He's a sheepdog.
Too sure.
He's a sheepdog. By the way, loves his church, loves his wife, loves his family, loves his country.
I'm in Austin for their jiu-jitsu tournament and doing play-by-play with Eddie Bravo. Hopefully Tim's there then. I don't know if that's
He's always
what I'm saying.
smiling.
Oh, you know what? His fight's December 10th, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm in fucking Austin the 9th. I'm going to miss Tim Kennedy.
He's always smiling.
He's the nicest guy ever.
Saw me.
You think you'd have PTSD
Took my hand,
or something?
took my face in his big mitts, took my face in his big killer mitts, and kissed me on both cheeks.
They did. Those mitts have ended some lives. Let's
Yeah,
be
they have.
real here.
Up close
They've won a lot of fights. They've ended some lives.
Up close and personal, dude. He smelled their breath.
Is he the greatest
smelled
American
his.
you know?
Listen, man.
It's hard to argue, right?
I got a list of
I'll
people.
go. Well,
But Tim
Kennedy?
Kennedy. I got
how skilled
Jon
is he?
Stewart. I like Alec Baldwin. I like Brett Favre, but I like Tim Kennedy. But then
Brett
there's- but then
Favre
there's
and Tim Kennedy. Well, all right. Well, this conversation's over.
No, what I'm
Brett
saying is
Favre,
that- what I'm saying
the
is that-
guy who took a dick pic in Crocs,
Well, I kind of like
the
him.
guy that
Kinda
went
like
from
him for that.
Green Bay to the Vikings,
Kind of like him for all that. Here's the thing. Here's the point I'm
the,
making.
the
Here's the point I'm
small
making.
dick with Crocs.
I
that
got-
ends it for me. You can't be a great American. And do that.
I got Tim again.
Let me guess.
I
You
may
like
have Tim.
you like Wiener too?
Look, I told you, I'm shedding my scale.
Okay. Well, you're out.
I'm shedding
You're
my
out, bro.
scales.
Tim,
Mold snake.
Well, it's not even
Mold
comparable.
snake.
Yeah.
I'm shedding my scales. You don't try to harness me. Don't try to keep me in there. I can't like a little nub in Crocs. Can't like a
little nubby
nub.
and Crocs. The worst.
Nub and
he
Crocs.
sent it to the lady at the front desk. You walk by her every day,
But
man.
also, if I'm going to send a dick pic, I'm going to be 10 hut. I'm going to be stretching that skin.
But with what he's working with, you don't send a dick pic. I got an idea. Send a picture you throwing a goddamn touchdown. That might do the job.
With a heart on.
Well, it's going to be tough because
Okay.
not practical. Or go ahead and mix it up. Bulldog your nuts. Bend over in your jersey.
Something. You don't send a picture
Put your cleats on. Bulldog your nuts.
That guy, he pulled that guy out after he'd been for a jog, and he was all scrunched up like a turtle. There's no, you know.
Why did he do that?
Because he didn't take my fucking class on dick
Your
pics.
workshop? I know, I got
Bro,
one too.
you
The
get-
thing is he goes, all right, what's the least, how can I just make her dry?
No.
All right, put on these fucking Crocs. And I think he even had like one of those, like, you know how they have the badges
Yeah,
on them?
he
He had
sent
like
a
one of those
picture.
weird girly
It may as
badges.
well been-
He had a bush.
It
And
may-
then white as fuck legs.
May as well been a dead baby bird that didn't make it out of the nest. Okay, am I right? What you do next time is you get that bird reaching for the sky. You get him up. You get him up and out of the nest. You
Even
get
if
him-
it's a small bird.
you get him.
I
You get
disagree
him
with
reaching.
this.
You oil up. You oil the shaft
I think
up.
you get creative.
Hold on, I'm going to tell you. And then you get that camera under the balls. You get the camera under the balls. Okay.
Now you're working angles.
Now you get a friend of yours who's got tiny hands. You get those hands, and you act like it's your hands because Brett's got some big hands. And then you get your friend to have those hands kind of hover over the head of that big old
Really, you want some
that
baby
average,
hands.
That
Really,
very
you want some
average
baby.
dick.
You want some kid hands.
You got some kid hands.
So you get a doll.
Then you
go
get a
and, go
doll.
get a doll.
Okay, I was gonna say you can't use a real kid because you go to jail for
then Chris Hansen,
lewd
like,
acts.
"Excuse me, sir,
Yes.
what are you doing?"
Because
No.
then Chris Hansen comes out.
You don't want that.
Point is-
you get a doll
Yeah.
with those tiny little hands.
Yeah.
You just kind of like it's like holding them. She's like, "Good God, this is the prom." She's like, "Oh my God, that's a big old piece, sir, and you're in the Hall of Fame. I'm game." Then you come on over, and she goes, What the fuck, man?
Trick photography.
Yeah,
Trick
gotcha.
photography.
You seen Avatar, bitch?
Seen Avatar, bitch?
You ever seen Jurassic Park? You think
you
those
were-
T-Rexes are real? Nah.
Hey, that was 3D.
But it's fun.
That's all.
It's still fun. I'll put in work,
I use
girl.
my zoom lens, and you fell for it, but I got you here. While you're here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I paid for dinner.
You never used Snapchat before? It's a filter.
Yep.
I didn't realize it looked that big.
Paid for dinner. Don't be such a size queen.
Yeah, don't be a hater on small dicks.
Plus, I got
small dicks
I got
matter.
strong hips.
Small penises matter, lady. And then she ratted at him. I think she blasted that dick pic
That's
out.
terrible. How mean.
I know.
I have taken pictures of my P's 10 hut, and my hand will be on it, and I go, I don't like the contrast. I'm gonna take the hand away.
Because your hand's all weathered and
Well,
like wrinkly.
the hand makes it look smaller than I want it to look. I want it to
Yeah,
look.
but let's be honest. It's also like your hand's like this old, kind of like old like grandpa hand, like a Miss Doubtfire
I got a bit
hand.
of a grandpa hand.
Yeah, like a weathered hand.
I got some arthritis in the joint, in the knuckles.
I can't put my hands in either. I got like scars on and stuff. She's like, God damn, my hands look like fuck. I don't know.
You know what I do sometimes when I take a dick pic? I'll get a black man's hand on it. I'll get a black man's.
I'm never mad at you. Talking about chocolate hand?
I'll have a friend of mine.
I'm never mad at
I have a
chocolate
black
hand.
friend of mine grab my white dick, and that's a nice contrast.
I'm
It's a nice
never
contrast.
mad at the old Cocoa Crispy
Yep.
hand attack.
I'm like, listen up, bro. You're straight. I'm straight. You're a black man. I'm a white man. I'm gonna
But-
have you grab a handful. I'm gonna put $50 in your your
50.
pocket. Yep. Because I know just on principle, so you don't feel like you're doing it for free. Because a man wants to feel like he's straight.
Yeah, he wants
Go ahead and grab
respect.
yourself a fistful. Don't squeeze too hard.
Just
or
grab
actually
a
do
fistful.
squeeze. Actually do squeeze too hard. Want you to herniate the head. Want it to be a little bit purple. So it looks even bigger.
Yeah,
You
I'd like that
understand?
vein to get a popping.
There you go. Pop that out.
Go ahead and get that chocolate hand in here. I call it the old chocolate hand.
You call it the chocolate hand trick? Mm-hmm.
I call it chocolate filter.
Chocolate hand effect.
It's a new Snapchat thing.
I like it.
That would be a good thing. Like if Instagram was, not even Instagram, if Snapchat was doing that's a good business. There you go. You got because
Here's
let's
another
be
idea.
honest. Guys send dick pics. So let's say you come up with an app that maybe it mixes it up with the dick, so it's not so creepy. Maybe it has a bow tie on it. Maybe it's like it comes with a dick in a box, so it looks like a gift.
Good.
And maybe you click it and boom,
Got a
what's
better
this?
idea.
Maybe it looks like the Loch Ness monster peeking out of the water.
Not
You
bad.
have all these fun filters.
Got it.
It's called dick filter.
It's called dick filters?
Dick filter.
Fun filters? Now listen, I got an even better idea. You get a friend of yours who's a little person. Okay. Now, I don't want to be, but you know little people. I don't know what the correct term is, but a little person. You might
Little
be able to
person.
say-
He can't say dwarf or midget.
can't
They
say
want
dwarf,
little
but
person.
you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we all
okay?
get you.
I'm not going to use the D
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
but you know
Small
what I'm
hands
talking
smell
about.
like
They
cabbage,
got and we all know that their hands they tend to be a little bit smaller. You get
Thick
that,
though.
Thick, but you get a hand, one of those hands. I got a friend.
I disagree.
I got a friend.
They're
You
thick.
grab
They're
a
too
hold,
thick.
Grab a hold of the base. What happens is, but the hand's not as big. Grab a hold of the base. There's a whole lot left over, and now
But you can tell, you're like, what's wrong with handsome over here? Why is his thumb so big?
Not if you use the camera right.
It looks like a little tiny. You know what it looks like? It looks like one of those White Castle little hamburgers with just 4 fat weenies hanging out. You know those
Yeah.
little wiener dogs?
yeah, but I don't have a White Castle dick. All right, we've been talking about
But the
this way
hands.
too long.
Well, but I think it's
We're
important.
grown men.
We are.
The point is
how
that
about how about the dick
Brett
app?
Favre
though?
needed to take
how about
our-
the dick app?
That's a good idea.
God damn it! Someone's for sure going to do it.
By the way, that's a really good idea. That you can dress your dick up for dick pics. I'm surprised
It's
they don't
funny
have one.
dick pics. They
That's
might have
fun.
it already, but they're not even funny. But they help guys out.
With a
the
face
right
on it?
the right lighting.
That's actually-
they have effects on it.
I'm being dead serious. That's actually an amazing idea.
Thank you.
I'm
Well, we
serious.
just did it.
How
to
many guys
all of
would do
our
that if you could
listeners.
put reindeer, like if you could put antlers on the end of it, or big old eyes on it?
Or you put you have elephant ears hanging out, and then the trunk's gray.
That's so funny to me.
You have like an octopus, and it's like leg octopus. Oh, dick.
Oh, that's funny, but that's so disgusting. Why would you have legs at the
Hey,
base
bro.
of it? Oh,
You don't know what people are
sorry
into?
about my tentacles. They'll tickle your bean. They'll fiddle with your bean.
Well,
That's so gross.
isn't it weird though?
Yeah.
Hashtag-
Didn't you say
hashtag
you were
dick
talking
filter.
about how when somebody bent over and they had hemorrhoids, you were like, did somebody put a bunch of earthworms in a headlock?
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about Will Sasso's
So
show.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When we did.
Yeah.
we did
Bunch of
that story.
hemorrhoids. You ever had a hemorrhoid, sir?
Once.
It was so you had and let me because I was in Denver, Colorado. I was lifting heavy weight, heavy.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about
what happened
this
to me. I
is
was squatting.
This was Big Brown, but like real.
So you're
Big
doing
Brown.
football weight.
we were football weight. I got some love handles. I'm sweating all the time. I got weird fro going. I'm eating whatever I want.
Whatever you
I'm
want.
deadlifting the gazoo. All I care about is getting swole the fuck up.
You're not a good wiper.
Not a good wiper.
Oh,
but I'm driving and I get the most intense itch in my asshole. Like I'm like, whoo!
Yeah.
I was driving. I was like,
Yeah.
whoo!
Yeah.
Shit, son.
Yeah, you need
Dude,
you need an ostrich nail. You need an ostrich nail to get in
bitch.
there.
I need a fucking velociraptor claw in that asshole.
You can't.
I swear to God, I almost crashed my car. At the time, at a Cadillac CTS. I'm fucking driving like, oh my God. I mean, I don't go finger to asshole. I went through the underwear. That
it.
small filter.
Yep.
That small
You need a
filter.
filter.
You're still your hand's still gonna smell like shit. Let's be real.
course
We
it
all
is.
have all been there. Of
course
but
it
I
is.
still reached in there and I scratched that thing like it would, like my life depended on it.
Yep.
I was like, God damn, that feels good. Well, guess what? That itch went, huh? Oh, now,
Oh, really?
Oh, we're gonna turn the
You wanna
flame on.
agitate
Oh, we're gonna
me?
turn the flame on because now
no.
it's gonna go from really itchy. It's gonna get itchier. Now it's gonna burn.
Jesus.
And then I was like, hold up, is there a snake coming out of my asshole?
Oh,
No, Brendan. That would be a hemorrhoid, sir.
no.
I had to get in the mirror. You know,
You had a mini
embarrassing this.
banana. Yeah.
I had to bend over like a bad porno,
Yep.
look between my legs. It looked like there's a grape coming out of my asshole.
Oh, no.
A grape, like a
You gave
purple
birth to
grape.
Really?
A purple grape.
Purple grape.
Yeah.
And
It
what
was
do you
so
do about
intense.
that? Is that a vein? What is that?
That's a vein that protrudes through the anus.
Oh Christ.
So what, like Tremors. It looked like the movie Tremors coming out of my asshole. So I had to take the old 1-2 digit and just go ahead and not up in here, push him back in.
You had to push him back in.
I went ahead and pushed him back in. Well, they don't like that.
That's
so he
bro
went,
science right there, bro.
That's bro sign. I went, you know what? You're poking out. I'm gonna push you in. He
Yeah.
went, oh, I'm going in. But guess what? This time, I'm coming with friends. Now 3 of them came out. He went, we're gonna go away.
Oh no.
We coming back with friends. Now there's 3 of
Hey
us.
guys.
Hey,
I'm having
guys.
some resistance. I need some backup.
Hey.
I need backup. Hold on. I'm coming on. Stick your head in there. Push me. Somebody get my hips and push me through.
3 of them. It was a 3-headed monster.
no.
Now that itching, you never felt pain, brother.
Now you have to go to the hospital sometimes.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to, but I was super embarrassed, so I did some research. Now when we do bro research, we talk about bro science.
Can I
It's a
guess?
scary rabbit hole.
Can I guess? Put some ice on that bad boy.
No, there's like preparation H. Use wipies. Don't lift real hard. Try not to shit so much. Don't
Jesus.
Don't sit on the toilet for longer than you have to.
Yeah.
Drink lots of water. Now if it
They always say drink lots of water. That's
Fuck
gonna help
water.
my fucking.
I know, it
That's
did
gonna help
nothing
my,
for my asshole.
butthole.
No, it did
drink a lot
nothing.
of water. Make sure you're hydrated.
my
That'll cure
I'm
these
sure I'm-
giant grapes. You got that Mediterranean, the bunch of grapes.
I'm sure I'm-
winemaker. You look like a fucking winemaker.
It looked like fucking Gabby's Mediterranean food was hanging out of my ass. Just olives.
He came back with friends.
Oh, dude. Huh?
I mean,
He was like,
take
fellas,
my index finger.
fellas,
and
we
push
got a
him back
fighter
in.
here. We got a fighter here. And they fucking came up
I need
booming.
backup.
So people on the forum stuff, they're like, I had to have surgery, I had to tie it off and cut them. I'm
Yep.
like, good God. Lucky for me, I chilled out, used the wipies, haven't been back since. Wow. I'm very aware I've lost every lady listener I've ever had.
it's okay,
And
it's
they're
okay.
probably blocking me on Instagram right now. I'm
okay.
disgusting.
Nope.
But every guy, I don't care who you are, you've had an itch in your asshole and you've used your MeUndies or whatever briefs
Yep.
you're wearing to scratch that.
Yep.
And that shit does not care.
My this is when you know you're married. My wife, I bent over. I had what I thought was a hemorrhoid, and I bent over and I go, look at my butt, just joking around because I'm attractive. And that's
makes
how I
sense.
seduce her.
Yeah, I'm sure she loves
and
that.
And I peeled the old peach and I said, bitch, my butt. And I was just being, generally a
Yeah,
moron the way I
49,
am.
yeah.
I was younger. I was probably 46. And
That's acceptable.
Yeah, and she goes, Bryan. And I go, what? She goes, you have a hemorrhoid. And she ran out of the room. And I was like, I do? That's what that is? Because I would get crazy itch.
It's a nightmare.
I was squatting up to 190. Hey, hand me that water, please.
Would you rather have an
By the
itch-
way, Rita Maria, our engineer, is laughing her ass off. Right
Well,
now.
that's a good
She's
sign.
giggly gigs.
She's like, I can't wait for these
and she's
freaks to leave.
a good-looking woman, and
Hey,
we're talking this
have
way.
you? Would you rather have an itchy asshole that intense for the rest of your life, or
Yeah.
a runny nose?
God, that's a good question.
God, is there anything worse? The snot-nosed kid in school? You know what's worse than snot-nosed kid in school? The snot-nosed grown-ass man trying to get work done.
I don't know. I guess
Your nose
maybe
is constantly red. You kind of get those snot bubbles when you don't realize
that's
what's going on.
That's a problem.
Aha!
I might have to go with my asshole. But then you got to
You've never had the itch that I've had, brother.
No, that's terrible.
You haven't walked the line I've walked. Because you would be like, I'll take a runny nose. God, it's a tough challenge, though, isn't
I
it?
don't like having a runny nose, though.
Itchy asshole, you're uncomfortable throughout the day.
A runny nose is so visible. You got to keep blowing.
Runny nose is terrible.
Yeah, you're always this.
Yeah, listeners hated that. Ugh. I don't know. Either way, if you've walked the life I've had with that ass.
Why don't we move on? And we've covered
With some current events.
We covered
Now
some
we've
very
lost
important-
every listener we've ever had.
We've covered important events on a Monday.
I feel like we're back to life, though. You know,
think
like
so,
we're
too.
back to kicking. When I say kicking, I mean being ourselves.
I agree.
You want some current events, Bryan the Kid Callen?
I want some
Now, our
current
new
events.
producer we're doing is our new studio. I've been running the helm right now.
I'm impressed. You're doing everything.
Well,
I
don't be
appreciate
that
it.
impressed. Let's
I
hear
had to
these
be in
events
Salt
first.
Lake.
So we'll get into, you know what? We'll save the UFC ones for the end. My Colorado Buffaloes are in the Pac-12 title game, and it's in at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. I was thinking about going up there. I can't. Some of my boys are going up. So University of Colorado played Utah, who's ranked number 22. The winner of that, well, no, if Colorado won, they're in the Pac-12 championship, which is a big deal. I think we're ranked number 7 or 8 now.
Right.
If we win the Pac-12 championship, who we play Washington, who's number 4 or 5. Then we'll go to a huge bowl game. Chance we could even get in the bowl championship series. Big. It'd be tough, but they could do it. But CU hasn't been good. When I left there, we were good, but not this good. This is the first time. And you got to remember, last year they're the worst in the division. The worst. This year they're the best. That's insane, man.
Yep.
So remember, those seniors have dealt with some shitty times. Now they're ranked, top 8, which is amazing, man. So they beat Utah, and then now this week they play Washington, number 4. I was going to go, but if they win that, I'll go there next. Good chance they go to the
maybe
Rose
I'll go.
Bowl.
Take a little
That'd be
trip.
fun. That'd be
Take a
fun.
little
Get
trip.
some sideline passes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the CU Buffs.
Yep.
I was so
watched
stoked,
that.
man.
I watched that Buckeyes game because
Good
I
game.
thought it was Urban Meyer, and I saw them come back. That was really cool.
Good game.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
I see. Now I like. Obviously, I always root for CU. I played there. That's my team. I love Ohio State because of Urban Meyer. I love, and this is gonna sound weird. I love Michigan because I'm a huge fan of Jim Harbaugh. It's not obviously they're rivals.
Did you feel?
I like Jim Harbaugh because every program he's ever been to, he's been a winner. You think of
How did you
Stanford,
feel
you
about
think of all these
him?
other schools.
About him complaining about the officiating.
That's fine. That's what you get. That's like
Part of the game.
it's part, but that's what you get when you sign up to work with him. Like for me,
He's an emotional guy.
like
Passionate.
with me, like I'm a passionate, emotional guy. That
Part of
gets
his
us to where
strength.
we're going. It can also, but it's also like that's what you signed up for. So like when my agent was like, "Hey man, I don't think you should tell listeners what's going on with Fox," I'm like, "That's what I do, man. That's like telling me
There's
don't
no
be
lie.
yourself." I'm like,
Yeah.
"But why? That's what's going on in my life. That's why the show. That's why we're at where we're at.
Yeah.
I will never compromise that."
No.
So going back, I know I made it about myself, but going back to Jim Harbaugh. He's so passionate, and that's why he gets such big recruits because they love playing for a guy like that. So he's on this win. He's always winning. He's always winning. Wherever he goes, he always wins. He had some rough years, although he went to the Super Bowl in San Francisco, blah, blah, blah. So he's had some rough years, great years, but you can't complain with a guy when he criticizes the refs. Like, he's so passionate. And to be honest, there's some terrible calls.
Yes.
And they get fined. The NCAA is such a crooked scheme.
Is it?
Oh, my God. Everyone makes, like, how weird is this? And I'm glad they're getting paid, but Jim Harbaugh had a commercial during his football game. So he's getting paid as a celebrity outside that. He gets paid more money than God to be the coach. The players can't have a commercial during that.
Right.
These are the guys risking their lives, risking their health. They're the ones that bring
and
all the
most
money.
of them don't make it to the
No.
NFL.
Yeah,
and
most
don't
of
get
them
an
don't.
education.
No,
Yeah.
and then think because they have an amazing player, Peppers, on their team, top 5 player in the nation, first round draft pick. He can't have a commercial, but Jim Harbaugh can. How
When
weird
you
is that?
retire, like when Tim Tebow's out of college, will he get? And they still sell his jerseys. Does he get money?
No,
Still
no, the university does. Wow, he gets no money.
amazing.
He make his own.
Yeah.
But that'd be kind of silly.
Yeah.
And you can't use the Florida things. What else we got? Oh, so this is interesting. We were talking about Ward and Kovalev, right?
Yep.
How many
Rematch.
pay-per-views do you think it was?
Well, That's a good question because I would imagine it's much less than I would think. Only because if you love boxing, you were very excited about that fight. But I still don't know how big of a name either one of them. Of course,
isn't it weird? But the thing is they're both two of the best in the world. Top 5 pound for pound, wherever you want to rank them, that top 5. But they're not like. They're not. We live in the day and age of entertainment. Like Floyd Mayweather was a huge draw. His fights were the most exciting, but boy, he talked a great game. Money Mayweather, all that. So we tuned in. Conor McGregor, great talent, knocks guys out, but he talks the talk. That's why his pay-per-view numbers are bigger than anyone's. They're saying it was probably around. I think it falls on a little bit of HBO because. If you don't want to pay the $70 to watch HBO, to watch a pay-per-view, HBO puts their big boxing matches on the following weekend so people can see it. So it's like, well, yeah, I'll find out the results, but I'm just going to watch it next week and save my $70 if you're strapped for cash or whatever. Like the UFC waits a while before they release their pay-per-views for a good reason. HBO always does that. Like you could just watch it this past weekend.
Right.
So they think it's around 140,000.
God. That's not a lot.
It's crazy, right?
At all. That's amazing.
Isn't that weird? I was surprised.
It doesn't surprise
I was a little surprised, but
you just don't hear. Again, it's hard to pronounce Kovalev's name. It's like that same thing. It's difficult to.
But the thing
would
is,
Triple G be a bigger draw?
No. He's a bigger draw than 140. Barely though. Not really. He's
Just
not a huge
he's
draw.
fought. He might have fought bigger names. Not bigger names, but he's fought.
Triple G's a knockout artist.
Yeah.
But again, he's very respectful, which for whatever reason our society doesn't work. Look at our president. That doesn't work. That doesn't make headlines.
So funny.
It doesn't make our headlines.
God, that's so true.
Whoever shouts the loudest usually gets the most attention.
So fucking true. That's a really good point.
So with Andre Ward,
doesn't work in our
Kovalev, Triple G, they're all very respectful.
Which I love.
Yeah, but
it's not entertaining.
It's not entertaining. Like, would you want your movie star very humble and just does the job? I'm not watching that fucking movie.
Yeah.
I need him to be pretty outlandish.
You want color.
You want color, but then people want color.
Americans do.
There's too much
Russians
entertainment.
like results. Like, they like a quiet assassin. They like a guy who...
Exactly.
I appreciate
look
that.
at Klitschko. He could walk down Venice Boulevard right now and not one person probably stop him. He's been a great heavyweight champ. No one gives a fuck.
Because Russians are understated. They're pessimistic by nature. Americans are optimistic by nature. And that's a function of their history. They've suffered so much.
And it's always
and
fucking cold.
A man doesn't... You know that Russians typically, smiling generally, is not considered something that's friendly. You wouldn't just smile
Frowned
as Russian.
upon.
You look stupid. It's culturally...
I trained with Arlovsky and fought with him. Granted, from Belarus.
You've trained with Russian fighters.
He hated me.
Right.
I thought and they're like, no, it's just the way he is. I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Schedule me dinner with him the 1st of November. Let's see here. So did you know the UFC forced Conor McGregor to relinquish his featherweight title?
It makes sense because he has no plans on going back down to 45. So let them battle it out. That makes sense.
You like that?
Yes, because unless he wants to go back down and defend it, you can't hold it hostage.
You know
He's
what?
a 55-pounder now.
But I think there's more signs by the UFC doing this, them flexing on Conor, force him to relinquish the belt. Granted, you are holding the division up. I get that part. But now the fight for Conor McGregor, and I said this before, is with WME and Ari Emanuel now. It's not with Nate Diaz. It's not with Khabib. Right. It's not with Tony Ferguson. That's the easy work. Mm-hmm. And granted, those are tough matches for him. Business-wise, that's easy, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
Now you're taking on an Ari Emanuel, a WME, and you want a stake in the business. That's your fight. Yep. And I think they realize how long, and he's serious because he knows how valuable he is to the company. And
his market share.
A little birdie showed me the numbers of his market share.
How many people watch
how
fighting?
important he is to the company. He's basically everything.
He
and
is.
If I can see those numbers, he can see those numbers.
He dwarfs anybody.
Not even close. Yeah. So his value, and he knows his worth. So he's in that fight now. So you pull the belt from him because they realize, all right, we're in for a dogfight here because he's not. We pull the belt. He's not gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna come back and fight right now. Like they're in a dogfight. So I think that's them realizing what's at stake here. All right, well we got to move with this division, but so DC's injured, right? You know that Dan Cormier's out. So
it's his knee.
I'm not sure. Either way, he's out. So they offered Rumble Johnson a fight with Musashi. And Rumble's like, no, I'll wait for DC. Price smart. Chances getting to the title is tough, especially at light heavyweight. Yeah. I respect Rumble for that. So they're making Anthony Pettis versus Max Holloway the main event in Toronto, and it's for the interim title. But riddle me this. If you strip Conor's belt and you give it to Jose Aldo, why the fuck are they fighting for an interim?
Because Jose Aldo, I guess, is retired.
No, he's back. He's
back.
Yeah, they're giving him. He's the champion. He's the title holder now.
Okay.
Because they took Conor's belt, gave it to Jose, and now you have the interim belt. Isn't that not weird?
It is. It is. I don't know.
Because remember Aldo and Frankie fought for the interim belt at UFC 200. Remember, Aldo won that. So that would make him the interim belt holder. Conor McGregor, the actual title holder, leaves. So that would make the interim guy the champion, correct? Is that not weird? What's going on here is they're creating, and it's entertainment. So let's shift through this honey dicking that's going on. I like the business move. I'm not mad at this at all. So what you're doing is you're going to make Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis interim belt holder. Obviously, the winner of that will fight Jose Aldo to connect the actual champion. So you can really market two belt holders.
Right.
It's interesting, right?
It's interesting, man. But you're right. And now you're dealing with Ari Emanuel. You're dealing with his partner. They've been partners, I think, for a long time, since 2001 or something. And they have huge ambitions to create content. I just read an article about it. Create content, be the creators and the drivers of content, the owners of content. I mean, the UFC is just
good luck doing that without Conor. Good luck doing that without Conor.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It's like I'd love to see the numbers on this weekend's card.
I would too.
People, they don't care about just a fight.
Well,
you have to have names.
They paid $4 billion. There's a note coming up. They're going to have to pay that back. They borrowed that money, I would imagine. So if the UFC is not generating profits that are going to honor that, they may have way overpaid. Somebody's got to be responsible for that. It's going to be interesting. It's a lot of money.
And I don't think Conor gets a piece. I think he becomes the highest paid fighter of all time to ever fight in mixed martial arts. I think they go, listen, we're not giving you a piece of the pie. What we're going to do is we realize your worth. Here's $100 million to fight this next fight.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. He'll get close to, not as much as Mayweather, but he'll get, for UFC, for what we're used to, it's going to be outlandish amount of money.
He's already making probably $10 million, right?
More than that.
Really?
Yeah, more than that. But still, I think he's going to get upwards between 50 and 100 million, I bet, for his next fight.
Really?
You have to. He's that big of a draw.
Provided they're making that much a fight.
They are, off him. Off content, material, pay-per-view, the gate. They could easily pay him that. But I like Pettis versus Holloway. It's interesting that, because remember, Pettis has lost his last 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Won his last fight, and then now he's fighting for the interim title. Again, it's about names, isn't it? Stars. People are treated different, and it's not a knock on UFC. That's in every business. Like that, the old thing.
It's my business. It's your business. I've been living that forever. You are not getting the part in the movie if you don't have the kind of market share that somebody else has. I'm a better actor.
It's life, isn't it?
Who cares?
It's life, isn't it?
It's capitalism.
Well, think Max Holloway's won 9 in a row. Last fight he lost to Conor McGregor by decision.
God.
So by doing this and him being a main event, Pettis lost 2 out of 3. I love Pettis, but it's a tough sell to give him the interim title, especially at a new weight class. I like it though. It's a Max Holloway Pettis. I mean, we don't have to pick fights now because it's a week away, 2 weeks away, a week away. So we'll do it next week. But
I like it.
Dude. For me, Max Holloway, you have a star, and you got to invest in him. That's the other thing.
You're talking about Max Holloway.
I am, because Anthony Pettis, we know Anthony, we're familiar with Wheaties box. He's a former champion. The Showtime kick, he's established. But let's shine some light on Max Holloway. But you can't be just a main event. That's not enough.
Yeah,
we got to do something. Get him on UFC tonight. I know he's in Hawaii, but you got to do something. Their publicist, and now you're with Ari Gold, WME. Ari Emanuel, WME. They have the access to put these guys in a different sort of light to get the public to know more.
Yeah.
You got to invest in a guy like Max Holloway. Because why did Ronda and Conor get so big? Granted, they're winning fights. Holloway's won 9.
I have a weird theory on
But
it, too, though.
you have to invest in them and blow that star up.
This is going to sound weird, but man, I also think that, and it's a dicey thing to talk about.
I know what you're going
but,
to say, I think.
You know, Connor and Rhonda are blonde. They're good looking. They're charismatic. They kind of pop on camera. Rhonda,
the star factor.
The star factor. Rhonda is, like her or hate her or love her, Rhonda is very,
Polarizing.
very polarizing.
Yes.
She's very vocal, you bitch, and she's mean.
Yes.
And then look at Conor McGregor. You got a guy, when you have these silent assassins, when you have these guys like Max Holloway, who's just a great fighter, who is like just looks like a fucking junkyard dog, thin, hard. You know, he's not.
Almost like Carlos Condit factor.
Carlos Condit is a very good-looking guy. Max is not so good-looking. Max is a regular-looking guy. He looks like a fighter, rough guy. It's just
he's not even on the front cover of GQ.
I know how those guys think. I can see how.
That's fair, Brian.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be criticized
Yeah.
for that because that's the
I
same.
can see them saying he's not very telegenic, so we don't care as much. All that stuff.
Well, I agree. Yeah, that's fine. He doesn't have that. You know what it is? He doesn't have the it factor when it comes to marketability.
That's it.
In the octagon, he's amazing.
And don't be surprised if those conversations are being had.
They were had
Sure.
when Dana took the company. Dana's
Sure.
very aware of that.
Yeah.
He's very, very aware of that.
Yeah.
That's what Dana's a beast with that
That's
stuff.
right.
He knows who's going to be a star, who's going to be a draw. So Max Holloway. Sometimes there's
Now, a guy who's
the guys are
underused,
undeniable.
a guy who they could turn into a star, a guy that they could create marketability around is Tim Kennedy, and they don't do it enough. They could tap into
I agree.
that
You know what?
patriotism factor.
He falls in the same boat as me. Granted, he's a way better human being than I am.
Talks too much.
He's too
So
outspoken.
speaks his mind.
He's too outspoken. He won't get in line if he doesn't agree with it. And you can't put too many chips in his table.
He's not a company man.
It's not even that he's not a company man, but he does. He's like, if something's wrong, he's going to say something. Same with me. So for us, that hurts you.
It's a liability.
It's a liability.
Yeah.
But it's also what
They
makes
should
Tim
nurture
Tim.
it. It's great.
I agree.
Let him be
You need
critical.
that.
It's fantastic.
I agree.
People love
That's a fun
controversy.
fight, though.
Let him go bad on the suits, and
Yeah, not everyone wants the same thing.
we'll be rooting for him.
I agree. You want to do one more or you want to move on? You want one more?
Let's do one more.
Well, it's just, Misha Tate announced her retirement, and she talks about the exact moment when she realized that she was done. And she says, going into the fight, she was fine. She's like, everything's all good. You know, you're talking about Strikeforce champion, UFC champion. She thought with this win, it's going to put her right back in the title hunt. And she was going into the fight like everything was all good. And then in the first round, and this is, quote, honestly, I just knew after the first exchange that I didn't want to do it anymore.
I heard her say that.
So it's kind of one of those things. She stuck it out. She knew she had a lot more to give, but just wasn't firing. And she goes, it's kind of odd, to be honest. It's just lacking a little bit of competitive edge that you still want to punch people in the face. And, dude, can I ever relate to this? Because I told you my last fight, granted, it was this perfect storm of things with Reebok, blah, blah, blah. But I'm in the back, and I look at my coach. I'm like, I just can't get up, man. I just don't care.
Just don't care.
And ask Tony, goes, are you kidding me? I went, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Damn.
But you're hoping that it's just a phase, that when you hit the crowd
Yes.
and you get in the cage, it's like, all right, I'm familiar with this.
Yeah.
Those are just negative thoughts.
And you tried all the psychological triggers and all that stuff.
I've seen
Just-
everybody, brother.
Yep.
As far as mental coaches, everything. So
Just didn't have it.
It's very strange. And it's not that, I give up, but it's just like, I just don't care. I literally don't care.
I remember seeing you in the octagon, and you looked like you'd kind of woken up from a nap. Like,
Which I did. I was taking a nap
yeah,
back
you just
there.
looked a little. I was like, he's a very intense
Let's
guy,
for
but he
sure
looks.
get going.
I was like,
Yeah.
he looks
But-
a
and
little
you're-
groggy.
And you're hoping it just fires for
Yeah.
Because I've had night like Gabriel Gonzaga. Boy, that I wish I was fighting Brock Lesnar that night. That's one of those they call it being in the zone.
Yep.
Where the 3 rounds were over. I'm like, really? That was
Damn.
it? Damn. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't remember doing that. Like, who was that guy?
Damn.
And I wasn't nervous going through the flow. Anything he did, I saw a million miles away. If you could harness that every night,
Yeah.
but that's when I wanted it. Fuck, all I wanted to win that fight, get to the title. This is my
excited.
life. I'm a dog. And then I get a little money in my pocket. I start telling dick jokes with my buddy. I'm in the studio. I make a move down towards the beach.
Hey, dude, we're having cappuccinos.
Cappuccinos.
It's a lot easier.
I got to go to camp. And I brought you with me because I thought that would help me. It made it worse.
That was the biggest eye opener. I thought about that the other day. That was the biggest eye opener for me I've ever seen, because you barely warmed up, and you got in there, and you had a full-fledged fist fight, kicking, wrestling, punching, fucked your neck up with a 6'8" Jack May, who looks like a superhuman when he walked in there. And I was like, you have to fight that guy with a mohawk. Oh, great. Who's going to be trying to knock you out. Throwing haymakers, kicking at you as hard as a guy. I was like, well, you kind of did some stretching for about, I counted it, for about 3.5 minutes.
Jack Mays or himself?
What's that?
Jack did none.
Jack didn't even put on a helmet. Jack threw in a mouthpiece and goes, let's fight. And I was like, what's going on here? And then I watched 500 plus pounds of meat go back and forth. And then I watched you guys fall on your neck.
He fell on my neck.
Yeah.
That's how I had the injury going into the fight.
And then you had trouble moving your neck.
I still have trouble with my neck.
Yeah, you had trouble moving your neck side to side and had to keep training, which I thought was the craziest shit I've ever seen. And
Destroyed
he was
one of the
swinging. I
discs.
remember one time he threw as hard as he could have right, and you just slipped it and came in for a double leg. I was like, well, there it is. That's that was a Friday. This is a fucking Friday. We had to drive into the hood. We're
in
Crenshaw.
Compton. Crenshaw.
Was it
That'd be Compton.
Hey, whatever it was. Whatever it was,
I
it
kind
was
of like
bad.
that aspect of it.
In Black House, and we're in there, and these killers are in there, and I'm like, and you're getting taped up, and in walks the Giant. And I went, that's what you do for a living. And you looked at me and you go, you're fighting him? You go, you want to be a fighter, huh? I was like,
right?
Oh my God, that's what you do for a job.
I know.
You have a good time. It's not moving around. See, people think we're going to spar, we're going to move around.
Oh,
No.
Jack would get paid more if he knocked me out with a head kick.
Yeah. So he's getting paid to try to knock you out.
And he's trying to pay the bills.
I can't
So that's
take
all
it.
he wants to do. Yeah. Interesting life, man.
Well, it's hard to go from hanging out with your buddy on Abercrombie, where girls in summer dresses are skitting by and you're sipping on a cappuccino.
Eating a
then we're gonna
slice of
stroll
pie.
Over, get a little sundae at Salt and Straw to get into a fucking Shark Tank.
Dude, I wouldn't change it for the world. It made me who I am. But I look back on it now, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, there is a personality that is required for that. So whenever you get irritable or you get intense, it's what I expect because it's part of your
That's
engine.
what you signed up for.
Yeah, and it's a good thing, but it's a very, very different thing.
But some of the things I learned through that experience in football, but through fighting, I think helps me with my comedy so much because I'm coming from an angle I can't think of anyone else coming from. So it's all original shit. Like you're not going to hear what I'm talking about on any special, any Netflix, just because no comic can fake this.
You should dilate and meditate on the mental fight that you would have probably sitting in your car before you were going to go and train. Especially on spar days. I'd love to know what was going on. Like the two personalities in your brain, one going, hey, dude, run away.
I've been working on this bit because I want to do that one-man show, you know?
Dude, I want to
tell
hear
my
that.
story.
I want to hear that.
Yeah, because the day of the fight, you'd sleep horrible that night. You'd wake up and it's like, what time is it? Well, it's 7 a.m. Okay, what's my call time? Well, you're on the main card, so you're not rolling till about 7:30. Let's just hang out.
You're
going
to sit on pins and needles.
Let's think about everything.
Think about all the things that could go wrong.
Well, I would.
But what about,
I would
sparring?
I would watch video.
But I'm
though.
saying sparring.
I would watch video though, so I'd get so nervous. But in your mind, you would create this fucking monster. You'd be like, if he does, oh my God, he's beat this guy, he's done this. But then when you actually get down to the black and white nuts and bolts, I'd watch a video. I'm like, well, I've seen that. I can do that. Like my mind's crazy, man.
Yeah.
My mind's crazy.
Yeah.
He's not unstoppable.
He's a man.
He's just a man.
Yeah.
And
you were
6'6".
Yeah, you were also
ranking
sparring
between the
monsters.
world.
When you were sparring guys like training with Andrei Arlovsky and those kind of guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying when you're sitting in the car before you got to go train, got to go practice,
Oh, for sure.
and your body hurts.
At the time, though, you don't think like that because you have no other options. It's what you
I
do.
see.
It's like the mailman. He doesn't think about it.
So you're
dropping
dog,
mail
you're
off.
dog.
You're dog. It's like this is you want to be famous? You want to make money?
We're all dogs
You want to be
here.
a professional athlete? We're dogs. And who's gonna make it out? We're crabs. We're climbing on top of each other. Who's gonna make it out of the top?
Yeah.
It's like the mailman.
See, I like that.
The mailman's not like, all right, I do mail here. Here's your fucking mail. Here's your mail. I'm just driving here. So as a fighter, it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
You don't really think about it.
I get that.
It becomes normal.
I've always been so ambitious, even as a kid.
It's the same thing like with you on stage. Like for me right now, I'm nervous.
After
Like,
acting school when I was 22, and I go there and I saw all those people in New York City who wanted to be actors, all those good-looking people, all those people, and I remember saying to myself, I remember this so well. I went, I'm going to be the one. I'm gonna make it out of this. I'm
that
dog.
never
I'm
scares
gonna
me.
bulldog
That
my
never
way out of
scares.
this.
Whenever, like, obviously, there's a million comedians out there. There's a million TV shows. There's a million podcasts. There's a million UFC fighters. A million football players. That stuff never scares me.
Yeah.
That encourages me because
Me
I
too.
always feel like I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And when those odds you go less than 1% actors are working, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I won't stop time. The difference, I won't stop.
That's
though.
how I am.
And I might not make it,
Yeah.
but I know that guy's going to stop before me. If we're on a treadmill, his is going to break or there's going to be some issue.
That's right.
And I just keep on keeping on.
It sounds really weird, but I've told you
Those
this
odds
before.
don't mean-
I went to Dan Gable's intensive wrestling camp in
Yeah.
Iowa with the Hawkeyes, and they train you, like a champ and all. I just remember because a third of the camp, even more, they got shut down the year after I was done because a third of the camp
Someone
or
died.
more, they would drop out.
Yeah.
You had to graduate from the camp. And it was the only time that I kind of was like, I don't know if I can make this. I would stare at my plane ticket. I'd just be like, I got to get out of here. Not really because I didn't have a plane, but the point is. And I remember just being like to a point where I couldn't break. But those experiences where you kind of one step at a time, you look at it motivates you because you go, look at all these dudes. Somebody's going to fall out today and I'm not going to. Somehow I'm going to make it through.
Yeah, those odds, I think people listen to those odds, you're in the wrong business.
You shouldn't
anyways.
be talking about those odds, actually.
Well, but
unless they motivate
people
you.
will tell you those odds.
Oh, all the time.
But I remember before I fought Roy Nelson, they're telling me the odds. Bro, you're only a plus 125. I'm like, why the fuck would you tell me that?
First of all, why would you tell me that?
So many
You're not
people
on my
tell me
side.
that.
Yeah, but they're not on your side. See, those kind of people, and they're all over the
call
place,
it stone
and they
shade.
exist in your own family.
Oh, yeah.
Those kind of people are, I'm sorry, they're just not your friends.
No.
They're not helpful because why are they telling you that shit? If you want to tell me something, okay, look, you want to tell me something? I love criticism. I do. But you better tell me how to get out of it. If you're going to criticize, tell me I got odds like that, then I want behind that, I want you to
need
tell
something
me
positive.
I want you to tell me how the fuck I'm going to get those odds better.
that doesn't happen.
Otherwise,
Yeah, I
keep your
agree.
mouth shut because
I
I know. Hey.
you don't think I
spent
know?
all my time fighting that animal. That ghost behind me going, "Hey, you're not good enough. What if you fail?" I'm on very familiar terms with that guy. So
It's scary.
now I'm gonna go take a piss out of my huge dick, and I'm gonna come back and give you a dropping knowledge.
Boom.
All right?
All right, buddy. Go piss hard
All
and
right,
true.
I need you to secure my hips.
Okay.
Put me in a chokehold.
All right. You gonna drain the beaker?
Yeah. So I got a dropping knowledge. And
Drop it,
has
man.
to do with something psychologists call the halo effect. A couple things the way your brain works. You got to think of it as having a system 1 and a system 2. System 1 is the part of your brain that arrives at conclusions right away. When you see something, you have a conclusion. You see something and you go, like you can chunk information. Somebody walks in with a knife and teardrops. You're like,
Dangerous.
that guy's dangerous.
Danger.
Yeah, we immediately do that stuff. And there's a halo effect. A lot of times, first impressions. So if somebody's friendly, you will a lot of times attribute a whole other bunch of characteristics to that person for the rest of their life. So
sure.
you'll be like, that guy's friendly, so he must give to charity when you don't know anything about it. And we do this all the time. And what you have to do is be aware of that you will create a halo effect. Sometimes somebody comes in and they remind you of somebody you don't like, somebody you had a bad experience with back in the day. They might even have a name that you don't like for somebody you don't. And what you'll do is you'll just judge that person and attribute a bunch of negative characteristics to that person based on the first impression.
So you're saying we're already programmed to judge people based off things that happened in our past or
Yes.
that you associate negative?
It's
and
called the halo effect.
wow.
So be careful of doing something like that.
We all do
That's-
it.
Yes.
We
so
all
that's
do
when
it.
your system 2 has to take over and say, hold it. Let me assess and let me get, and this is where getting other people's independent assessments are very important. That's why when police officers, they don't want witnesses talking to each other. Because when witnesses talk to each other at a crime scene, they will arrive at the same,
bias.
they'll arrive at the same conclusion. It's called confirmation bias. Okay? This is another thing human beings do all the time. We all do it. You have a feeling about something. And then what you'll do is you'll look at a bunch of data and you'll choose the data that confirms your conclusion
So we'll
already.
pick certain things that help your conclusion?
That'll support your conclusion.
Oh, last night I was sitting in bed going, there's a hater in iTunes.
There you go.
There's a hater in iTunes, and he's not letting us upload the episodes. He doesn't want us to succeed.
There
and
you
I was
go.
like, you know what? I'm gonna call iTunes tomorrow. I'm sitting in bed.
And you've attributed
then
all that stuff to that person.
And I obviously I'm just trying to point the aggression somewhere.
Yes.
And I talked to Mike. He's like, no, it's all good, man. Yeah, they upload it, and
Yeah.
it just takes time. It's the internet, so
Yes.
we're moving as fast as the internet. I went, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And this is confirmation bias. We do this stuff all the time. We will arrive at a conclusion. And scientists do it. Human beings are very good at confirming their bias, okay? And so be aware of that. Always be aware of that. You are going to get a feeling. If you don't like gays, you're going to find evidence in the Bible that condemns gays. If you think being gay is okay, you're going to say, well, love thy neighbor, and you're going to find things in the Bible that confirm that it's okay to be gay. We do this all the time. We are always trying to cherry pick data that supports the way we feel already.
It happens in sports because you look at guys like LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, all these guys. They're known to get more fouls than anyone else because the referees have a bias to, okay, he's amazing.
Yes.
Probably missed that shot because he got fouled, so they get more calls than anyone.
Exactly.
Or there's guys like Tom Brady. You touch him, oh, you know the rule.
Yep.
But then there's guys like Cam Newton. Well, he's big. He can take the
There
hits.
you go.
He doesn't get as many calls.
That's why Shaq didn't get called on as many, and that's what we do all the time. So just always keep the look. Conspiracy theorists. What do you think conspiracy theorists do? They do a couple things. One is that they will cherry pick all the data they can, and that'll support they're already suspicious. They're already like, there's something going on there.
I feel like Eddie Bravo was born in this world suspicious.
He
If they're like,
suffers-
that's a red crane, he's like,
Eddie, the way all of us do, suffers from confirmation bias. We all do. I think Eddie has more of it than most people, but that is what we all do to an extent. We all suffer from degrees of bias confirmation. So make sure that you know that your system one is going to arrive at conclusions right away. It's very good at it. That conclusion doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Sometimes it's good though. Like if you're good
Sometimes
at judging
it
people,
is.
like I can, and I've met so many people now. If I meet someone, I can find out right away if they have bad intentions. As far as, man, you should let me on your show to do this, or you should hit me up because I can help you with this. I'm like, well, I know what's going on here.
So do you know you can do that with people's faces? Do you know that people a lot of times will avoid danger, and women especially, they will not. They'll be wary of what do you think the two features are?
Big nose, small eyes.
No, not bad.
Because that's why they're terrified of you and I.
Nope, but they'll be aware of a strong chin and a frown. That can be even a fake smile. You can see a lot of times, but
For
a
sure.
small. I think smile. So
The
a grown
horns-
man,
the horns
If
are
a
giving
grown
off.
man's walking toward me smiling for no reason, I'm running away from you, motherfucker.
Or he's
Yeah. Now let me give you an amazing stat here that blew my mind as far as like being able to read faces. So what do you think is more important when people look at a politician? Do you think it's likability or competence? What do you think people vote for?
they want a guy who has confidence.
Competence, not confidence, competence.
No,
Who's
I'm saying
competent.
they need competent, but and also
So in other words,
he
like-
oozes confidence
Yeah,
to get the
confidence
job
too, but
done.
I'm saying with competence meaning like he can get
No,
the
he
job
can get a
done.
job. That's what I'm
So
saying.
what do you think is more important, likability or competence?
This day and age, likability.
Okay. So
Because I feel like the election was, God, who meth or cocaine? Like, what? Fuck, they
Yeah.
both suck. They're
That's
both dangerous.
That's actually a really good thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a very good point. Believe it or not, it's competence. But this election is very good. Now, let me give you a stat that I thought was fascinating. So this guy who's a scientist at Princeton University, he showed his students pictures of men's faces. Okay, sometimes for as little as 1/10 of a second. Okay, and he asked them to rate the faces on various attributes, including likability and competence. Okay. So these guys all rated, and by the way, these weren't just random men's faces. These guys were all people running in real elections for governor, for Congress, and for the Senate. Okay, and then he basically did this in Finland, in Australia, in Germany, in Mexico, and in zoning board elections in England. Okay, check this out. Now these people they just saw the faces really quickly, sometimes for as little as 1/10 of a second. And the ones that people voted as being competent in that short a period of time, 70% of those candidates won election. 70%. Now think about that. It was so much of their facial features. We are hardwired. We have neural capacity, essentially, to register what we consider to be competence. Now, it doesn't mean they are.
No.
It doesn't mean that you have a strong chin and you have a competent smile. That doesn't mean that you are going to be good in office. But we have a predisposition naturally to read someone's face and say that guy's a good leader or not.
crazy,
There are
brother.
circuits in the brain that evaluate dominance from the shape of the face.
the way
Just
we're
about
wired.
That.
Some physical creatures.
So be
it's
careful.
not just men.
Be careful of your first impressions. Ask other lines of inquiry.
There's a good chance the next Fire and the Kid is at the new official Fire and the Kid studio. We should finish up tonight.
Yep.
But we can't thank the network studios, Mike and everyone involved
Mike
here
Casantini,
for letting us.
Rena Marie.
Yes, for
Hey,
letting
by the
us
way-
use your studio.
Yeah.
As you guys
Network
are listening to
studios,
this, Tuesday night, I am at the Comedy Store doing stand-up. Bert Kreischer, Sam Tripoli, a bunch of ridiculous comics are on that lineup. It's supposed to sell out any minute now.
And December 4th.
December
You,
4th,
me,
which
and
is
Chris
next
D'Elia.
Sunday. Brian Callen, Chris D'Elia, and myself. It's all It's not Fire and the Kids show. It's
stand-up.
It's just stand-up.
Yep.
Chris D'Elia, Brian Callen, myself. That's at the Comedy Store. Then that following Monday, I'm at the Laugh Factory. We'll give you guys
And
all
by the way,
updates.
December 8, 9, 10, I'm at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. Again, always said it, my favorite place to perform.
You have
Love those
said that.
crowds. Then I got Phoenix the following weekend
You're
at
getting a lot of
Stand Up
dates right now.
Live. It's okay because people get backed up. Phoenix Stand Up Live, just know that. So I'll see you out there.
We got new Abbott Kenny Fight Club hoodies dropping. We got Fighting the Kid sweatshirts dropping. These are by far our best ones yet. We have new Fighting the Kid Army. Do you really want to bet against us? Tees dropping. And then the original Abbott Kenny tees dropping. Soon, I'll give you guys, follow me on Instagram. Obviously, I always blast out. tfatk.com for anything you need. Episodes number 208 with Will Sasso, Brian Cal, and myself. Episode 209 with Maddie Matheson and myself are available now on iTunes. We back and rolling in this bitch. This is the Fire and Kid. We're out.